And there we have the microphone. And we go into the camera. Can you confirm, please, if you can hear well? If you can hear it well, thank you for the confirmation. And let us begin. There we go, here. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed and beloved friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone listening. On this so precious, cold day of Shabbat from California, the US of A, today is Shabbat, the 27th of Shavat, the last Shabbat of Shabbat. It's on its way out. Of the year 5991, it got a few more days left, corresponding to the 18th of February of the year 2023 of the Gregorian calendar, and we shall study yet another chapter of Revelation 70, this fabulous series that talks about lots of subjects, starting with Revelation 17, and with everything else that is related. Revelation 17, part 18, Bethuwlah, part 10. Today we'll see how far we advance in the chapter that we're studying of Isaiah, chapter 66, a rather impressive chapter, and we shall try to advance a bit more because we always talk about lots of subjects, about many things. And to tell you the truth, it's a fabulous chapter, and I'd like to advance in other prophecies later on. So then, without any further ado, let us begin. Let us seek the presence of our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for this so precious a day. We give you thanks because you have called us to be a part of this so historic a moment on earth, because you have created us, you have designed us to be that light which will light up this whole earth. We give you thanks because you take care of us, because you protect us, because you love us. But actually, we are asking, where are you? Where is the Elohim of justice? Because every day we see even more and more injustice, and we desire for this to get to an end. We ask you that we can understand this prophecy, that we can study today. In your precious name, Yeshua, we're waiting for you. Alleluia. The Lord has blessed with one more year of life the following members: Gustavo Botero, Argentina; Patricia Denise Pernas Torres, the Dominican Republic; Jaime Lopez de la Cruz, Guatemala; Jocelyn Maria Fletes Correa, Nicaragua; Guelda Lagos, Costa Rica; Denise Rojas, Costa Rica; Josue Eliseo Zambrano. They said he is the twin from Argentina. Constanza Victoria Zambrano, twin. Oh, you have the twins. Oh, I just got it. Josue Constanza are twins. You call in cuates, you say in Mexico, right? Cuates, which are the twins. So then Josue and Constanza, exactly. Greetings to both of you. Herman Cala Gutierrez, Colombia; Jefferson Lopez Mateo, Guatemala; Shirel Mariana Montiel Bultravo, Colombia; and Brian Diego Silva, our son, who has had his 20th birthday. And as we said last year, we shall call him so that we can see him and he can say his greeting. Come forward, Brian. There you go. I'll give you a little place there for you to sit. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for all your words that you have sent me in Facebook and everything. All the nice greetings that you left for me. They really did touch my heart. Very, very nice. I had a spectacular birthday. Excellent. We had a delicious dinner that my mom made with my dad. They did it together. Absolutely delicious. And they gave me some very nice presents, some lions. A pride of lions that I got here. I love them. I love them. But yes, may Yahweh bless you and that, yes, I love my birthday. A very happy birthday, a kiss. Hey, uh, great, good kiss. I am very proud of you. You have become a man that is unthinkably beautiful and brutal, strong, muscular, with a voice that makes my voice smell. Well, I got it from you. So then, I love you a lot, and I thank Yahweh because you came to thank and bring joy to this home. So, Mary, congratulations because of your achievements. Keep going on. You are a magnificent judge. Many thanks. I got all these virtues from you too. I am so thankful to my parents, and like I've said in the anniversary greeting, without you I would not be here, so I'm very thankful for you. That's good, that's good. So then, many thanks, Brian. Very happy birthday to you. We'll be celebrating today, once again, Brian's birthday with lasagna. Lasagna, a spectacular lasagna that Leslie made, a magnificent lasagna that has many different layers, like 6 layers. It's kind of like this thick, enormous. She put some minced meat. It's all with seasoning that she knows how. Another layer of ricotta cheese with what do you call that green stuff? With spinach and onions, fried onions. Another layer with ricotta and with some corn, and another with tomato sauce. A spectacular lasagna, magnificent. Very Argentinian. Later on, you will see it in pictures. So then, wow, Brian is 20 years old. Wow, what a voice he's got, this guy. 20 years old. Impressive. Impressive how time goes by. It's impressive. When we started the Eternal Truth, Brian was a little 5-year-old baby, 5 or 6 years old, right? He was a baby. Tiny, tiny, absolutely tiny. Wow. Brutal how Yahweh has blessed us. And for every one of you that have had a birthday, a great big hug on behalf of all of us and of the Eternal Truth. Many, many thanks to every one of you. Well, before this, I'd like to present to you, because Rubicel and Abigail have sent us these so exquisite chocolates, elegant ones, with the reason that it could be our anniversary, or also the reason being, what do you call that? That love, Valentine's Day, Saint Valentine's Day. And we have just very little left. We have very little left. Very little left. We'll leave some there to show you. Many thanks. Spectacular with a golden cover. Spectacular. It's all spectacular. Many, many thanks. Both Rubicel as well as Abigail. Many thanks. A very good attention. And also, we have received as a gift on behalf of Angelina this one for the collection. This one, wow. Now we've got the little octopus. We got the other two children of the octopus, the babies, and we have two. We have the shark, and we have this penguin. This penguin. He's Argentinian. Of course, he's upset. He's so upset. He's so pissed. Because the greeting here says the greeting, it says the reason. I'll give the other reason. It says, "Where's the Elohim of justice?" But in the greeting it says he's pissed because he dresses well with tuxedo and everything, and you all dress really bad. He says, "That cannot be that I dress well and you present yourself this way. It cannot be. I am dressed with a tuxedo." You know, the penguin looks like he's got wearing a tuxedo, and you're all very bad dressed, and he's really upset because he's asking, where is the Elohim of justice? So then, it's spectacular. He'll be here today in representation of all the rest, and saying, where is the present?
Very happy greeting for the day of St. Valentine, but every day is a day of love and friendship.
Oh, but of course, you've already heard Leslie. Congratulations for the day of love and friendship. But for us here, every Shabbat is the day of gathering and friendship. It is time to look for the moon. The month of Shabbat is on its way out. And what month will begin? What month will begin? If you didn't know, that was directly to insult you right there. I was ready to insult you. Exactly. I was gonna throw you. No, I wasn't gonna throw you this. Maybe the flowers here with the vase that was brought up to us by the Robledo lineage, precious flowers. I just remembered many things for the flowers. They are spectacular. So then, many things. If I throw the vase to you, a good thing you answered well. Adar, the month of Adar begins. Month 12th month begins. And when does it begin? It'll be this Tuesday. It'll be visible this Tuesday when the sun is going down and it's becoming Wednesday. That is when the month of Adar begins. Since it's the day 30th, every day everyone will be able to easily see the moon, even though nobody can see it, even if everybody has a cloudy or rainy sky, or they forgot because they're watching something else. A subject of the eternal truth, which that shouldn't happen because it's a very important day when the month begins. It's a feast. So then, although no one see it, since it's the day 30th, automatically we pass on to month number 12, the month of Adar. When will that be? I've already said it. It'll be this Tuesday. This Tuesday. Today is Shabbat. Saturday, Sunday, 1 day. Monday, 2 days, 3 days. On the third day, on Tuesday, when the sun goes down, that is when it'll begin. You will see the moon, the new moon, and it gives the beginning to the month of Adar. And since the equinox will take place on March 20th, it'll be Adar 27th with the moon still visible. Then we shall give another month. I've already presented this. You already understand this. There will be another month. We have to add another month in the month. Extra is a repetition of Adar. That is why I call Adar the second. It's a repetition. It's like a month that has 60 days per se. Because it's 12 months, but you have to add it because I don't want to call it with these words. But we could say, well, maybe it's a bad, because of the imperfections of the sky. Because I would like to have a sky that would be a clock, 30 days, and the moon appears. 30 days and the moon appears. And for the entire year would be 364 days. In other words, 30 for 1264, and then everything begins. But it isn't so. It changes. So then days are being added, which are kind of like extra per se. It's not that they're extra, but they are passed on to the next calendar. We have to add another month from time to time so that it won't happen what the Muslims do. What the Muslims do, they have 12 months. They see the moon and the sun, but the calendar starts to be pushed over, like Ramadan, which is their most important one. It's in October, sometimes it's in June, and sometimes it's in winter because it's rotating. Just imagine for us to have Pesach, but in other months, because it is rotating. In order to avoid that, because it has to be avoided, because all the feasts of the spring are in spring, you have to add a month for sure. It's not in the Bible. It's not explained, but it's one of the things that is one of the more things that the Bible leaves in blank and does not explain. You deal with it to understand it. However you can, if you follow it to the letter, your calendar will not work. It will not work. It will not work at all. You have to add another month. Many people still add me. That's not biblical. It's not in the Bible. Whatever you want, you can follow whatever you want. But the calendar, if you don't add another month, then we end up everything spinning and nothing works. This is the best way for it to work. And if the Creator does not like it for people to come explain it, let Him come and explain it to us and and to give us a little chart, and then we wouldn't have any problem with it. As long as the Creator isn't here, we have to do the best possible in order to make everything coincide. Nothing else. Not to look for any more turns on this subject. Okay, I'd like to remind you, as I've been doing lately, that the eternal truth has something magnificent and it's free. It is the NMG Consult with Angelina. If you're going through a problem, if you have any conflict, if you need to have an idea of why you are suffering something and you'd like to reverse that and stop it, you'd like to live happier, in control of your emotions and in the control of whatever happens in your body, and you don't know how, we, in the contrary to all who may have this type of medicine that is so expensive, we offer this freely, that Angelina can give you a consult. How do you get in touch with her? It's in the description of this video. It is Angelina Silva's Facebook. You can make an appointment with her and she will tell you exactly what is the root of your evils, of your problems. I'll tell it to you now. It is you. Starting from there, then she's going to say what part of you is the one that is causing all those conflicts that you have to change, Very well. I'd like to remind you then that we've got a free service. Take advantage of it. Magnificent. Very well. I'd like to remind you just above, just very lightly, that the 1260 days that show up in chapter 9, 7 and 12 of Daniel, and it also shows up in chapter 12 of Revelation, and also we shall study it later in chapter 11 of Revelation. Those 1260 days have already been fulfilled, and they weren't fulfilled in the past. They were fulfilled on a date that it was prophesied that it would be fulfilled, which is in the very last moment when the little horn, that power, was gonna try to change, and he's still trying, of changing the times and the law, to reset everything and to change the laws with which we guide ourselves. Not the law of God. Not the law of God, it's annulled. So then what is he going to change? No, he's going to change from Saturday to Sunday. Saturday is annulled also. What are you talking about? What is trying to do is to change the laws that are already established in which we lived with everything. But those laws are the ones he wants to change. So then he's trying to change that if you don't, if you have something for you not to have anything and be happy, that you can live neuro altered or modified and controlled, and that you have components in your brain and in your heart that can produce a sudden death. That you can have all types of neuromodulation and moderation and control at a distance. That you become a cell phone. That is precisely that you become a cell phone. For them to call you and for them to have your number. Whenever they want to call you, they can call you. That is what the little horn is trying to do. And those 1260 days have been fulfilled. But then we have 1290, and those 1290 begin the 9th of October 2019, and they will end April 21st of 2023. And we're already 2 months away. 2 months away and a couple months. It's February 18th. April 21st, the 1290 days will end, and it'll be on Friday at sunset. Not just that, when that Friday becomes, when the sun goes down, it becomes Shabbat. And not just that, when the sun goes down on that Friday, we enter into the new year, the year 5992. Not just that, we enter into what we have declared, Jubilee. So then when we declared it, it was 5 away. Now it's 2 months away. We're drawing closer. What will happen? I don't know. Will something happen? I also don't know. Maybe nothing happens, but that doesn't matter if it happens or not. This date will pass. And then we'll see. And the 1335 that started together with 1290 on October 9th in Yom Kippur of the year 2019, along with the cup of wine 2019, plus 1335 takes us to 217. 217. What took place on 217? 217 means the 17th day of the second month. Of the second month at 17 days, what took place? The great flood. What took place was that Yahweh gathered seven people, which was Noah, his bride, his three sons, and their three wives. It's eight. It's seven plus one. It was seven. Noah plus seven. That's what I was trying to say. It's eight. Plus seven people and Noah. It's eight people, and the great flood began. It was a specific date, and it began on the 17th day of the second month. And Yeshua says, since the way it happened in the days of Noah, so it shall be when the Son of Man come. It is a very interesting, because the coming of the Son of Man, we understand it completely different to what all of Christianity understand, and the Son of Man comes. They think that it's their Jesus that they worship, that does not exist, the way they see it. Of course, he existed, but under Yahweh. But that Jesus that they think that it's not Yahweh, but it's the Son of Yahweh, it's the Son of the Father. He will return. He will return in a human form. And we understand it completely, that the Son of Man is a group of people that the Bible teaches clearly that it's the supreme saints that are called the sons of Elohim, which are called the Lamb, which are called the bride. It's all titles. But definitely it's a group of human beings. That is the return of the Son of Man. Now, the Son of Man no longer comes to die as a lamb, but since the lamb already died, the sacrificial lamb, he was already that. Now the sacrificial lamb will be another one. It'll be whom? It'll be the witnesses. That'll be it. That they do not obtain the truth, and they have to die for what they understand to be true. And the rest will also pass unto rest, so they will also be a part of a form of a lamb. So then you have the Messiah and the lamb. Before the lamb was the Messiah, the lamb that was going to be sacrificed, and now it turns around, because now it's on the other side. Now the Messiah does not come to be sacrificed, but he comes to sacrifice per se, so that you understand. The rest are sacrificed, not the Messiah. Before the Messiah had to be sacrificed, now all the lambs are taken to the slaughter, no longer the Messiah, but it is the rest of humanity, all of humanity. That is what is written. The prophecies are completely clear. So then 217 will be July 5th at sunset. Impressive. We are drawing near to all these dates. Very well. I'd like to thank, I don't know if that is the word to thank, because actually it is, the honor is yours, and it is, you are taking something that is fabulous, that it cost me to decide it, because first of all, it was an extra job for me, and a responsibility that's extra that I didn't want. And I was thinking about why take on that responsibility, but I thought it was a service. So then that's why thanking you, it really doesn't fit, but actually it's a marvelous opportunity of giving you something that you can have. I've already got, you have written to me, many have written to me to obtain this, such a precious ring of the eternal truth. Not just because it says LVE and it's spectacular, not just because of that. It's from Argento, from silver, not just that, but because it's got the value of something made by us. In other words, I'm not making it, but I can order it to a jeweler that makes it for me. That's our design. We designed this. So then it's got that value, that it's something authentic, ours, original. that even if you would have him make it on your own, it wouldn't be the same thing because this is made by the ministry and sent by the ministry to you. I'd like to clarify something. What I'd like to clarify is that those of you that want to obtain this precious ring, the ring, I'd like to tell you that it means power. The kings all had to have a ring. Not that they have to have it, they had it. That is why when the king would give the ring to Marduk, he gave him the power to Marduk. The ring is power. It's not just something you wear, it's not like a shirt, it's something very powerful. And that is why it's got this symbol. I was telling Leslie that the day in which Elohim gives us the opportunity of forming this in a physical form, the Supreme Court of Justice and the judges, the first thing I will do is to make a spectacular ring so that it can only be had by the judges. That is, if you are a part of that Supreme Court of Justice forever. No one goes up, no one comes down. That's the idea that fascinated me. But we started with this one for now. We started with this ring. Now, some of you would like to obtain this ring. You have to give me the numbers in US. There's many different charts. If you have millimeters, and it's like 30 millimeters per se, don't tell me 30 millimeters because it's no good. Here, the jeweler, he works with inches. So then just look it up. I can give you a guide, but it is your job to measure it and to give me in American in freedom units. For example, I wear number 11, I wear number 12 or 13, depending on what finger. And the marriage finger per se, what I wear is 11 and a half on this finger. 11 is fine, but 11 and a half is better. 12 is too big. It's too big. This one is 12, this one is 12, and I can use it on this finger. It's a little loose, doesn't matter. This one's better, and this one it's better. This one, it looks very good, number 12. And I also buy bigger ones, some other ones, so that I can use it in this finger or in this finger. So then, it is your responsibility of those of you that measure it well, get a guide, grab a little paper, cut it up. I'm telling you because all the problems that you may have, I don't want to have them. I'm giving you something, a service that it was difficult for me to decide to say because it's tedious. Tell the truth, it's tedious. And the last thing that I wanted is more work, but I know the responsibility that I have and also the privilege of you to receive something from us. So as I said, no, I will do it. I told Leslie, no, you have to do it. You have to do it. Yes, but of course, I told Leslie, you have to do it.
Women are about 7, 8, or 9.
Right, the women are 7, 8 through 9, as Leslie says.
If their finger is very, very small, then it'd be 6.
Yeah, 6.5, 5, even women. Exactly. It depends. So then 5. And normally in women, it's number 7. For example, what are you, Haiti? 7 would be great, right? If it doesn't enter in one finger, it would enter in another. 8, you use 8. So then in this one, all right. Leslie also wears 7 here. And Brenda, what do you use? Give or take, right? Give or take, 7 is what they use. You, Jamie, are growing. You don't know. Okay, she doesn't know. Angelina, and this one, I think she wears number 6, right? 6. She has a very fine finger. 6.
Many people here said I'm number 8, and
Okay, so then great. If you want, the cost is $200 for the ring, and I'm going to see if within that is already money left for me to be able to send it to you. If I can send it to you with that price, that's fine. Or else, no, I'm going to say, look, it's going to be $10 extra to ship it to you. I'm going to try. There's a problem when you pay me or you deposit in PayPal. PayPal takes money from me. they take 3%, give or take. Pretty much, if you deposit $200, they take $14. So then actually you deposited $186, not 200. Just so you know, the people don't know this, but PayPal takes money from me, a commission that they earn. So then you deposit 200, but actually you should have deposited a little bit more. That doesn't matter. I mean, if you want to calculate that difference, you can add a little bit more, whatever. But the cost is $200, and I'm gonna try to make it also include shipment. Now you have to have all the patience in the world because they have a lot of work here. And he said, "Look, I'm gonna make a stock. Give me 4 weeks, and then once you order it, forget it for I don't know from 4 to 8 weeks to receive it." But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's like something that will come either way. So then the time, do not be in a rush because what beautiful is to have this ring. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
And actually, like what Sola said, do we have to send more than $200? Actually, it's a little less than 200 because
Right, it's just that.
200 because is what we set it so that it can cover all the
Sola and all the rest. That is why I just wanted to say that when you send it, they start to already reduce things. They start to deduct. So then, if we needed more for the shipment, then I would tell you. If it's enough, then we'd be okay like that. We'll just leave it at that. That's what I'm telling you. If you want to add a little more, you're not gonna die either way. Okay, everything that you give, Elohim receives it. You see. Of course, no one's gonna get upset. No one's gonna get upset if you add a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? It's not that don't add another peso. No, but it's a spectacular ring. Leslie's gonna give us a picture of the ring and a little chart, but measure it well. If you're in doubt, add a half a finger more, a half a measurement more, because you can, what if you go fat? But the thing is that there are things that if it's bigger, you can add things that will make it fit, things that you can put them inside of here. So then if it's a little loose, with that, it makes it fit well. But if it's too tiny, you can't do anything, but you have to cut it, which would be crazy. So then, either way, if you already know the number, that's perfect. If not, then a little bigger, and then later on you see how you use it, and that would be all. But more than anything, I wanted to tell you that it's a privilege for you to have this. It's not that it's something that costs me because already to get all the orders, it takes a lot of time for me. You can write to me or Leslie with all the information, and then later to say where you have to send the ring in an exact form. I remember when we used to send the DVDs, people would add anything behind the red factory. They would give us a bad address. If you give us a bad address, it will be lost. Tell it to you like that, it'll be lost. And then you're going to go crying to the Catholic Church. You're not going to come and cry to me. You're going to go and cry to the Catholic Church, to the priest himself. It's your fault that you give me a bad address. I want the exact address. The exact address. There were people who would write behind the red house.
Check your address as well.
Yeah, right. Check it well. Tell me, don't write it all in one line. The way it is, your name, the way they write it in your country, because it's written in different ways in your country, how they write it in your country, in the name of whom, and a perfect address, so that it is transparent. Very well. We move on. I just wanted to show you this because it's spectacular. Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh, one is. This is the base of all the truth. It is the base of the eternal truth. From this base on, we can build all the truth. If you don't have this base, you will not conclude anything that is true. Nothing. Because the central base of Scripture, of this whole book that is concealed, the central base, the rule to measure everything with, it's only one being, which is God, the Creator. God creator, one sole being, God the creator, not two, not a father and a son, and even less, it is not a trinity. If you believe that it's a trinity, you will not understand anything in the rest of the book because you're going to say this was made by the Father, this was made by the Son, Father sent the Son, and now we have another one that's called the Holy Spirit until he prepares us so that the second one comes again, the Son, and that's why we're always there without understanding any of the prophecies. We're waiting for the Son. We have the third one, the Holy Spirit. We worship all three. We don't know which we love the most. Well, we do know we love the Son the most because he died for us. The rest did the shit. I mean, what the Father do? He sent the Son. Wow. God of love? No, a terrifying God that sent his Son out of his own creation. Why? He could just forgive the whole world. It made no sense. Do you understand this? Christian, listening to me, that's if you want to understand anything. If you have a father that sends his son to die for someone else, if the Father is all powerful God, he could forgive without blood. Let's start with that. What do you mean? What do you mean God cannot forgive without any blood? I already showed it in Isaiah chapter 6 that a hot coal from the altar forgives the sins and cleanses everything. How can an all powerful God cannot forgive his own creation without there being blood? Just imagine that. Without any blood, there's no remission of sins. That is dog shit. Just like that, dog shit. But we understand a lot of things aside from that. Now, my most esteemed Christian, if you worship a Trinitarian God that sent his son to die, what you're saying is that the Father desired to see his son die, and he desired for his son to give his blood. It's a sadistic father. It's a father that is the most horrifying and most murderous that there is. And it even goes past all the possible words that I could use for that father. That says, I forgive them. But in order to satisfy my ego and my thirst for blood, someone has to die. Either all of you die, or what supposedly I called my son to die, for my son to die, and then I am satisfied, and then I forgive you. That is what all of Christianity believes in. And it's got a mask. It's got a front. It said God could not forgive. Starting with that, God could not forgive unless there were pouring of blood. So then, in order to forgive the humans, the only blood that was worth anything was his son's. But why? Because it satisfied God, the Father. Do you see? That is how we all went through there. We could not see the terrible elephant that was in the room, like they say, the elephant in the room. We couldn't see that. We said, oh, what a great love from the Father to send us his. Oh, what a son of a bitch. That Father that gave his son, that does not exist, but it exists in all the minds of the Christians. That does exist. It used to exist in my mind. It used to exist in your mind. It exists in the mind of all of Christendom that a father gives a son. What a filthy, sadistic father. That's why the secret to understand the scripture, if you want to understand the eternal truth, you want to start, first of all, with one sole being. That is not a Father, Son, or Holy Spirit. It's the three put together. It's not the three put together. It's his title. He's part of everyone. He also made himself be the Son of humans, the Son of man, and also it's the only Holy Spirit there is. It's not that it's three beings in one, no, it's one sole being, different titles of one sole being. So then, the secret of the Shemah is the secret that opens everything. Once we know that there's only one being, the only one that could have come, that he didn't have anyone to send and wouldn't want him to send anyone because it'd be a sadistic father, was him. So then he does demonstrate love. That creator love, she says, you know what? I come to demonstrate that I will also die, but tell the truth. I subjected all of you to creation that's malevolent and it's dog shit. It is absolute dog shit, this whole creation. But I have my reasons that you will understand, and you understand. But to show you my love, I'll subjugate myself to my rule. He says, you sin and you die, so then I'll come here. And if who did not have a sin, quote unquote, made himself sin. It says, but of course he made himself sin, which means that he had to play by his own rules. He had to sin, and at least to break the Torah in Shabbat, it was already a sin. So then for him to come and tell me That stupid Christian that comes to tell me, like the stupid writers of the Bible hold up that he never sinned. He never sinned. He broke the Torah. I could care less that if your mind it was a sin or not. He broke the Torah, and the Torah is what defines whether it's a sin or not. What is sin? It is the violation of the law. That is what sin is. It is the violation of the law defined in the Bible. So then he violated the law. Of course he did. In the Torah it says that you cannot raise one sole stick on Shabbat. He didn't just do that, but he made others raise a stick on Shabbat. So then he made a sin. Don't doubt it. I tell it to you clear. If he would not sin, then how would he die? It would be even more unjust. So then he had to sin. What other sin did he commit? That I don't know. I could care less. What I can explain to you from the Bible, it is declared a sin to raise things on Shabbat. And he said, I give a fuck. I'll raise that and I'll do whatever I want. That's it. It's over. For me, it's enough. Now, did he lie? You can add to that. Lying, murdering, violating. What do you mean raping? Well, let's say he wouldn't rape, but he would send his people to rape. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. But it's not that he has just one sin, he has all the sins. Not one. The worst sins to the very easiest, most simple one to the most complicated one. What is the worst sin that exists? It is murder. And then lies. Is Elohim guilty of that? He's the greatest murderer of all times, of all time. And he's the greatest liar of all times. Not the greatest. There's no greater liar than he is. It doesn't exist. No one better than him or greater than him could exist. He is, if he's going to be a murderer, he's the greatest. If a liar is the father of lies. But of course, he says it. Israel has a father. Which is it? The father of lies. And also a murderer. He says because he murders from the very beginning. But of course, the Christians don't understand this. But Yahweh made us understand it. How? With Yahweh Ekhad, one alone. And when we say Ekhad, it's not a cursed being that wars against him. He doesn't exist. Satan does not exist. The only Lucifer, not the only one. But Lucifer is a title. The bearer of light, the morning star, it's a title used by Yahweh. He says, I am the morning star. Israel is the morning star, or Lucifer, the bearer of light, and also my children. So then Yahweh, which is Lucifer, Israel, is Lucifer, and he felt that Lucifer, his light was turned off, but it was Lucifer. It says, how have you fallen? How art you fallen, Lucifer? How art you fallen, Israel? I gave you a temple. You wanted to be on the north side? That's where I gave you a temple, but also you became big. That's precisely it. There was a Lucifer, a bearer of light, light to the nations, same word. It was Israel, which is no longer light unto the nations. Who is light unto the nations? His children. His children are Lucifer, but of course. And then you have Peter, and within all the things that he wrote, because that was an inspiration that not even he understood. He understood that everything would be fulfilled, everything up until the morning star be born in our hearts. He knew clearly that there was no morning star in your hearts. Who's the morning star? Lucifer, the same word. It's just that if you write Lucifer in the translators of the Bible, the Christians, they would have a DHS that they would be caused. It would be brutal. So then they read, until the morning star be born. They said, oh, how nice, how pretty. That Peter, right? No, he wrote, until Lucifer be born in our hearts. That's what Peter wrote. Very clear. It is very clear. So then, the question is, has Lucifer been born in your chest? Because he has been born in mine. And Lucifer is equal to the eternal truth. The eternal truth. The Lucifer, the eternal truth. We could add, however you like. However you like. Lucifer is the light of the world. Lucifer is the bearer of light. And there is no more light other than the eternal truth in this world. Why? Starting with Yahweh Ekhad, one sole person. There is no devil. There's no fallen angel. There is not one against. Everything works in your favor, even the beast. Everything that takes place in this world takes place because he gives them power, because he gives them the opportunity, and because he gives them a place to do it, but under his contrary. His world is a creation that is controlled. That's why I'm not worried. That's why I'm not worried whether Putin wants to invade. What this old man that is dying is wants to do. If they want to mark us, it doesn't bother me. If it's his creation, I'm not worried at all. I continue on with Penguin upset, with Penguin, with the shark, with the dinosaur I forgot to mention, and also with the little octopus and his baby twins. We're still saying, where is the Elohim of justice? Where is he? And for him to show up already, because we see the version only of the righteous, but in our mind, once you understand that the whole world is per se a simulation of Yahweh, that everything is absolutely under his control, you start to rest your mind. You don't stop to think, what am I going to do to get money? What am I going to do to survive? You only have to ask for it. You only have to ask for it. But of course, for me to tell you, because I've proven it for you to believe it, it's two different things. Very different. You have to ask for it. My physical problems, that's clear. You have them because you have to learn to solve them and to ask. Our mouth is so powerful. We are a creator Elohim because we're made in the image of and likeness of him. He's trying to teach us the power that we have. But that power, we do not exercise it because we need faith. If we had faith, the blessed faith, if we had faith as a mustard seed, we could tell that mountain move and throw yourself into the sea. You say that's impossible. It's all possible because this is a creation that is fluid. The reality that you perceive is your reality. The whole past that has passed, you don't know if it exists or not. That doesn't matter. It's something that they told us nothing exists. Maybe, but Yahweh placed us here and says, look, this is my world. You have this, surrendered with this, spirit, Satan, Trinity. The Son came to die by you. So then they throw you there. That's where they throw you. In injustice, complete injustice, you don't really know what is true or not. It's a fluid reality. I could care less if this world is 6,000 years old, which is what I believe, or 600 billion, or 1 second. I don't know. That's where they threw me. My perception of time is my own as yours. So then, when that whole surrounding dominates me, then I become a slave of that surrounding. But when you start to say, no, hold on a bit. Here I am. I am who? You're a poor, wretched fool. No. I am Elohim. You'll say, is he crazy? It doesn't matter if the people think that we're crazy. It doesn't matter. I am Elohim. Who are you? I am the Messiah. On contrary to John the Baptist, are you the Messiah? No, I'm not. Are you the prophet? No, I'm not the prophet. Are you the one that was to come? No, I'm not that either. What the fuck? What the fuck are you then? I mean, why the fuck the Baptist? See, I'm a voice that cries in the desert. Well, I'm no voice that cries in the desert. I am Elohim. I am the Messiah. I am the Lamb, and I am God. I tell it to you so that you understand it and you repeat it to yourself. Your whole surrounding starts to change. Everything. It's all under your control, believe it or not. Doesn't matter what Puton does. This one comes with the arrows that they're threatening you, that your boss says, I'm going to kick you out. They'll work for me. They'll work in my surrounding. Your boss wants to kick you out because you can get a better job. As long as you have the mind of saying, I can't work. Okay, that's it. It's over. You're not Elohim. Even though you are, but you don't know, you haven't woken up in your system as another slave of the system. Once you wake up, you start to be empowered. Who am I? I am the one that changes all of this. I am not afraid of death. Why would I be afraid if I'm Elohim? If I die, I'll resurrect. What did I say? I want you to remember this. If you lose fear of death, you already have 90% of all the sicknesses eliminated, but because they all come by fear. Fear of this, fear of that, fear of losing the house, fear of not having what to eat, fear of what comes in the future, fear that my wife goes with the neighbor, or that my husband goes with the neighbor or with the milkman, fear that my children die or kill themselves driving, fear of what's going to happen to me or because of my sins. If I had to say I wasn't such a good person, I was a son of a bitch, I'm telling you, not me, you, speaking for you, because I was a saint, no sin. You, I don't know what the fuck you were. It says, oh, I'm garbage. Every day I'm garbage. God knows what I did. I could give a fuck what you did. When one stops the whole world and you say, everything is revolving around me because I am God, that's what Elohim wants from every one of his judges. To be empowered of his situation. You say, hold on. What's happening to my body? No, I have to, because I am Elohim. I have to fix it. And if not, I'll look for another Elohim, which is Angelina Silva. She's going to tell me what I have to work with. Look for Angelina Silva, the Elohim, and she'll tell me what I have to work with. And so then I, as an Elohim, by my word, I start to work in that. I am afraid for them to kick me out from the house. I'm afraid of not being able to. You don't understand the power that you can have if you want. If you want. Why do you have debts? Because you're programmed to have debts. When you say, I no longer want to have any more debts, I won't have any more debts. I'm going to pay for everything. Because I'm Elohim, I command it. You don't know. You're going to pay for everything. If you distrust, you're no longer Elohim. You don't believe in faith. Faith is you decree it and it is fulfilled. Because this is a fluid world. If you have yet to understand it, is because you have not woken up as Elohim. You still think you are the worm of Jacob, that we're not. So then you think that you are crawling on the ground, your servant. You are one of those people that asks and does not do. The judges of Elohim are Elohim. It says that Elohim gathers in the reunion of Elohim. Elohim gathers together in the gathering of Elohim, of the gods, to be in that eternal circle. You have to start to understand that you are God. And as God, you are not afraid of anything, just like that. No fear. If you are not afraid of death, wow. You can already avoid, even if you smoke 40 packs a day, of having, lung cancer. I'm going to say the words. You avoided it. You can't have it. Because that comes by fear, not by the cigarettes. And it's not disinformation. I'm saying stupid shit. For YouTube, right? For YouTube. I'm some crazy guy speaking here. That is the problem. If you have problems with alcohol because you drink too much, it's because you have not given you the command as Elohim. I won't drink anymore. I, Elohim, do whatever I want. So then I'll drink whatever I want, and I drink whenever I want. And we all do everything. I am. Within that I am is the power that we have. Yeshua would not have said ever, ask and ye shall receive. Call and, what is it? And the door shall be opened. It shall be opened. Call and it shall be opened. What else did he say? Seek and ye shall find. The point is you have to seek in order to find. You just want to receive. I see the people prayers. I need this. Lord, please.
Bring justice to the world.
Exactly. Lord, bring justice to the world. When are you going to come, Jesus? When are you going to rapture me?
Make me a better person.
For example, and that's good. Make me a better person, even if it doesn't work. It stopped me from going with a neighbor. Stop me from going to the neighbor's wife. Oh, stupid shit. I just think about sex. I don't know why I think. I go to work and I see the girls there, or the boys, or the girls. I don't know. Something takes control. Must be a demon that I have within. I'm possessed by something. It could be by sex, alcohol, drugs, or whatever stupidity. Something is wrong with me. Take the demon out of me, please. The demon is loose. The demon is loose. So then you'll never understand anything. Those are the prayers that the people do. And then after you go to church, and when you get baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, they say, No, you're a new creature. Do you believe that he's a new creature? He's such a son of a bitch, just like when he went into the water when he came out. I at least, those that I would baptize in the name of Yeshua, which is valid. Of course, it's valid. Only baptism that's valid. I, I have to leave you like 2 or 3 minutes under. And the people will be like, "What? You hold your breath because I have to leave you there, and don't bring anything out of the water because that hand will be cut off. Everything underwater for 3 minutes." And then people would say, "No, no, I can't do it." I said, "Well, minimum, I should leave you an hour, at least minimum an hour under the water. You should really dive." I would play with the people. The people, wow, the people believe that they are baptized in their new creature, that the old things have passed, as Paul says, and now I'm a new creature in Christ. What the fuck are you going to be a new creature in Christ? A new creation, you have to die and change your beliefs. When you change your beliefs, you will start to be a new creature. In that aspect, you have to change all your beliefs to be really a new creature. That's why Yeshua said to Nicodemus, "What do I have to do to be saved? What do I have to do?" He says, "You have to be born again. You have to go back to your mother and be born again. You have to die." Why? Because you have to change all our beliefs, all of them, every one of them, every last one. They're all distorted, but it's part of reality. It's part of being Elohim in a surrounding the best surrounding to become an Elohim, the most hostile, the most fucked up, the most unjust. In that surrounding, that is why we have to be born. We cannot be born in an Eden. We're born in an Eden. We're like an Adam and Eve, and we don't want that. We have to be born in the worst terrain to demonstrate who we are. And so then sometimes they give us difficult parents. Some are luckier than other. But if it wasn't a difficult parents, you'll have difficult companions, or the life will take you to that terrain because you have to demonstrate and develop your character. The development of the character is so fundamental. If they give it everything to you that's easy and everything just, you don't develop anything. I've told you this 1,000 times over. You don't develop anything. You have to develop it. You have to develop it until you perfect it. What is perfection? Perfection actually is when you understand that you're Elohim. That is where you got to perfection, once you understand that you're Elohim. And once you got to that perfection, you start to perfect yourself even better. You start to polish your problems because you're Elohim. You're not asking another Elohim to do something for you, but actually you as an Elohim, you intervene in your own life. You are the creator of your life. You are the creator of your reality. The reality around you, you created it. No one else. Just like you have your parents, your children, your friends, even me, you created this reality. Is your surrounding. It's very different to someone else's, and it's very different to mine. Everyone has what it's called it's like a bubble. We see reality as different. That bubble is your kingdom. It's your kingdom. And in that kingdom that Yahweh gave you, you have to perfect yourself in that kingdom, not in someone else's kingdom, in yours.
With justice.
That is part of the perfection. Of course, no, I understand. No, of course. With justice, perfect justice, that would be perfection. But of course, if you don't act with perfection, you're not going anywhere, and you're going to go and rest for 1,000 years until you learn with justice, and you won't be a part of the Supreme Court of Justice. I'm going to look for the judges, the supreme judges, and all those that will accompany us. It's something impressive. It's a few only listening because it's few judges. It'd be 100,000 followers. We have a problem. 100,000 people. It's just as a little tiny stone that hits the statue. It's not a little mountain. No. Taken from a mountain, a little tiny pebble, insignificant, tiny like this, that brought down Goliath from David. A little tiny pebble. So then the star group, the sons of Elohim, the judges are a few. It's a little tiny group. That group perfects himself in justice, like Leslie said. But of course, sometimes I miss little details to say. But justice is the most important thing. Like Leslie said, it's the most important thing. Because maybe you get better in many things, but if you're unjust, you're not going anywhere. That's the most important thing. Justice. Very well. So then, the principle, the main base is to understand YHWH, that Yahweh is only one Elohim. Once you understand that, wow, you understand everything, and from there, all the prophecies change. We no longer wait for the Son of Man. We know that the Son of Man is something different to what people teach in Christianity, Trinitarian Christianity. Everything starts to change, radically so. Very well. And I don't want to spend more time in this explanation, but it's very important to understand who we are. It's very important to understand who we are. We have to work. And I'd like to go back to highlight this, not to be afraid of death. Why? Because if you're Elohim, you can resurrect yourself. You just have to believe it. Just like Yeshua believed it. It says Yeshua, he knew what he was saying. We don't know what we say because we still don't believe it. We still don't believe it. Yeshua says, go ahead and take my life away. You can't really take it away. I placed it myself, and I'll take it back. This commandment I received of the Father, he says. Now I would copy his words and I'll say the same thing. I'll say the same thing. Actually, no one can take my life away. The only one that can take it away is myself. When you say, if I place myself in situations, if I let them treat me, if I allow for them to medicate me, then I'm an idiot. I'm placing it by me. I can also say, shoot me in the head, 3, 4 shots until you kill me. One, maybe you hit me here, another here, and maybe it gets closer. And the 4th bullet, forget it. Also give me some reinforcements. Also a cup, and I know that they're giving me poison. I drink it either way. So then who is the one that is putting his life there? He is. If you notice, it's not that the pharmakeia kills. The pharmakeia is there to kill them. So then it's fulfilled. No one that takes it away. No. I allow them to take it away. So then I apply that to myself. And you should apply it to yourselves. No one can take my life away. I myself give it. If I'm an idiot, I'll do it. I don't want to give it. Now, if I'm an idiot, then I'll give it up. But I'll tell you something. I'll tell you this. I have power to resurrect. And you might ask me, this guy's crazy. And says, who told you that? The Father. The commandment. What commandment? I have power to take it back again. Why? Because this commandment, or true commandment rather, I received it from my Father. There you go. Suck on that. If you can remember that and you understand it, then it's fulfilled. It is fulfilled for real. You have power to resurrect yourself, just like that. I tell it to you like that. You can believe it. You can not believe it. You can doubt it. Saying, I'm not convinced. I'm going to go to another pastor talks to me that I have to repent. Well, I talk to you that if you believe it, you receive the power to resurrect yourself. Why? Because that commandment, I received out of my Father, and everything that Yeshua did when he was here he was doing something aside from what he did, an act of prophecy of how the Son of Man will be. He is the Son of Man. When he talks about a father, he's talking that there is a group that are sons, and he is the Father. So then if he said, I place it of myself, and of myself I take it back, because this commandment I received it of my Father. That phrase, he left it there so that for those who want to believe it, I believe it. I believe it. He wrote it for those who want to believe it. I believe it. Because he doesn't have a father. So then what the fuck is he saying? A huge lie like this? No, he's saying a truth that's even bigger than an incredible lie. An incredible truth. He's saying, he that wants to believe that I am your Father, your only Father, then I'll give you that true commandment. Which one? That commandment, do I want to fulfill it? Every time I accept it, then I have it. Am I afraid of death? How am I going to be afraid of death? If death comes, I have power to resurrect myself. It says, this guy is the only man in life that has said that stupid shit. I'm the only one, I'm the first one, and you should be the second, third, and fourth until it becomes an all the judges that say, hey, my life, if I wanted to place it, you can't take it away. Because you can't take it away. But if I wanted to place it of my own, I'll take it back. Because I have a commandment of the Father. We are the sons of Elohim. We have received that commandment. What else did he say on top of that? I'm thinking, Yeshua said, the Father, let me see. I want to quote it the way it is. Let's go to John. John. Let's see if we go there. Let's go. Isaiah 66. John. Chapter 5. John chapter 5. 26 reads as follows. For as the Father hath life in himself, we agree with that, right? So hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Wow. This is marvelous. What no one in the ever fucking story of this whole life has understood this text. They understand it as Jesus the Son. He didn't have life at some point in time, if you want to understand it, or else you can just forget it. It says, oh, Jesus is speaking, the Son of God, and he says, for as my Father hath life in himself. They all understood that? Yes. That's what Paul wrote. The eternal God, the one that lives in the inaccessible light, the only one that has immortality. Paul says the only one that has immortality in our Lord Jesus Christ. Because Paul and all the other idiots understood this wrong. Because they are not the Son of Man. Do you understand this? They're not the Son of Man. That's why he's dead. He has not been resurrected. They could have resurrected themselves. They have to wait for the Son of Man to resurrect them. That is clear. So then they understood by saying, oh, this was Jesus the Son. So then, who is the only one that has immortality? It's the Father. The Son that doesn't have immortality. So the Son comes and says, for as the Father had life in himself, there you have it. The Father had immortality only. So hath he given, and the verb to give is to give. One gives and the other one receives. So then the Father gives eternal life in himself to the Son. The Son, on the other side, receives eternal life from the Father. He didn't have it by nature. He didn't have it. Because if he had it, why the fuck will the Father give it to him? We do agree, right? And if he already had it, why the Father is going to give it to him? Or why is the Son going to receive it if he already has it? Once you have it, you have it. We do agree with that, right? Very well. If you agree with that, then we can advance. Okay. This Son that is spoken of here, actually it's not anybody's Son, but it's the Father. You already understand that, right? The secret of Scripture, Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh is one alone. So then who's speaking here? One that received life from the Father? No, he's speaking, and he's speaking in parables. So then, if we study the parables well, the parable of the Father and the Son speaks that he is the Father and the children are the children of Elohim. That is the maximum effect of the whole word, effect. Not just that it's one alone, but that we are the sons of his. And no one can have placed himself in that authority. And as long as they don't believe it, it won't be fulfilled. It's easy to say it like that. Yahweh knew, he knows who will believe it. But of course, it's not that, oh, Luther, if he had believed it, he would know. Don't see it that way. He didn't even have the possibility to believe it. What I want to say is that no one understood this because it was not correspondent to them. But once somebody understands it, you read the Bible. For as the Father, Yahweh, has life in himself. He's the God creator, the origin of everything. So has he given. He gives us, to those who believe, the Son, we, to have what? Life in himself. I don't depend for him to resurrect me. I said, I am the Son of Elohim. I understand this message, and I declare it. I am Son of Elohim. That is why I have life in myself. Do you understand that? So then why will I be afraid of death? How would I be afraid of death if I have life in myself? Once you understand that, this information, you are not afraid of death. What fear will you have if you have life in yourself, if you're Son of Elohim? He has given the Son life to have life in himself. And also, what else did he? Not just that. He also gave him authority, something he also didn't have. The Father, once again, gives the Son, give him authority to execute judgment. The question is, are you a judge? If you're a judge, and you haven't understood that message, you have to understand the other that we have life in ourselves. So then why are you going to be afraid of the beast, of not having a job, afraid of that they're going to kick me out of the house? How am I going to be afraid of whatever if I am God? But of course, I'll be afraid if I am not. If I am not, then I'll be afraid of everything. If I am, I'm not afraid of anything because what's produced out of nothing, what I need, it's produced out of nothing, out of thin air. If I were to need $500,000 right now, I would produce it out of thin air. Maybe you don't believe me, but I can produce it. I can produce it. I don't need it now. If I were to need it, I'll produce it. Just like if I needed, I would produce gold, colloidal gold, whatever I want. I produce whatever. I don't have any limits. I don't have limits. If you were to understand that, you have to understand that. You have to understand that you have a limit. And I want you to take away that limit. I can spend this, can I spend that? Let's see if it's enough. Get out of the box of being mediocre and being miserable. An Elohim cannot be miserable because he owns it all. And if not, you create it, you create it, you create it. But this is very powerful. Let me ask you, if you are a judge, and if you are a judge, or you want to judge, if you were not a part of this judgment, but you want to add yourself to the justice court, I, as the president of this court of justice of heaven and earth, I can give you authority to add more judges. I said no for that judgment. That's it. It's already been given. But now we have more judgments. Don't you worry. So then the possibility is open to all those that hear me. They have the possibility of being judges. No longer of the judgment. We already commanded over Babylon. That was the first one. We're going to have a lot more. And it'll be sentenced all humanity. And aside from the judgment, it's the redemption of all humanity. So then, in order to redeem humanity, we have to be judges. So then, even the position is still open for those who are listening to me. If you're new, that come say, what is he saying? I'm telling you, if you want to understand this message, if you're Elohim, you're the Son, you have received power to be judges, like I'm saying here. And I'm saying hello to Schneerson that just got here early, as always. Very early, very early. He made a big effort, but he brought Audrey that came back, Audrey, and Belen came back, who came back from Guatemala. Welcome back, Schneerson, Audrey, and Belen that have come back early, on time, very well. And also, speaking about Schneerson and his lineage, I want to congratulate Schneerson Nelson because he bought a house, which maybe was unthinkable some years ago. He bought himself a house, and the houses show up. Now that the crisis, everything is so expensive, the eggs are so expensive, we have eggs, we have huge eggs, enormous balls. Obviously, we have divine eggs. We do whatever we want, where the chickens, aside from the eggs, the golden eggs, that's the way it is. We are everything. So then, what does Elohim say of the Son? He says, for as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment, also because he is the Son of Man. There it is. Who is the judge? The Son of Man. No angel with his ass hanging out to come to be the judge of men. It tells it to you here. It tells you who the judges are. Maybe some of you doubt, no, the judgment you made, actually it's the judgment of the saints. You're sons of bitches. You don't have any saints. You don't have anything of the saints. Nothing. No. I mean, unthinkable. And some have the face of a saint. But if you were to know the truth, the only one that has power of issuing judgment is the Son of Man. We are the Son of Man. There's no one else in the whole universe that can have power to issue a sentence. We, the judges, but not just Yahweh, to those who believe and accept the position of a judge. He gives them, allow them to be judged. What else did he give him? I want you to remember this. What else did he give him? To be a judge, what else did he give him? Life in himself. Do you think you have life in himself? I believe it 100%, 100%. If somebody comes and hurts me, I'll resurrect myself whenever I want, just like that. It could be 1, 2, 3 days. I don't even need 3 days whenever I want. Maybe I'll wait a year. I'm going to take a year off because I'm so sick of you. I'll see where you are and I'll come back in 1 year. But I decided that no one else says this guy has really lost it. No, I haven't lost it. Everything is very clear and everything is in its place. If we are judges, no one can take it away. I place it on myself because I'm an idiot, because I want to. I'm not thinking about it. But I place it of myself. But that and all, I can take it back whenever I fucking want. Why? Because this commandment I received it of my Father. Take it. Suck on that. Because I am LVE. Because I am the eternal truth. Because I am this. Because I am this. I am the Son of Man. And because I am the Son of Man, I am a judge. And because I am a judge, automatically it's a whole package. Because as the Father hath life in himself. You know who can say this phrase? Those who have one soul Elohim. The rest, who's the father of Christianity? They don't know if it's Jesus, his father. They call Jesus their father also. They don't know if it's the father of the father, Jesus, his grandfather, or maybe this Holy Spirit, the Father, Holy Ghost. They don't know who the fuck it is. They have three fathers. Now, one that understands the Shemah says, for as the Father, the only person, had life in himself, is the Creator, so hath he given to the Son, there it is, the Son, we, to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment. It's been fulfilled to the letter. It's been fulfilled. Because, why? For what? What's the reason? Why did he give him authority? For he is the Son of Man. And it says, do not marvel because of this, because the time shall come when all who are in the graves shall hear his voice. Exactly. Who will resurrect everything? The Son of Man. Wow. It couldn't be any more clear. And those who have done which is good shall come to a resurrection of life, and those who have done evil unto resurrection of damnation. Exactly. Who is it? The resurrection, the Son of Man. The rest, believe in whatever thing. What does the Son of Man believe? What does the one that will be the resurrection understands? That condemnation, it's correction. Just like that, correction. Instead of damnation, it'd be correction. Why? Because we are the Son of Man, and we shall decide. It says, I cannot do anything of myself. Exactly. Actually, I can't do anything of myself. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not mine own will, but the will of my Father which has sent me. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There is another that beareth witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnesseth of me is true. Exactly. And I'm not going to continue on reading because it is impressive what I am telling you. By being judges and by being the Son of Man, another characteristic comes to have life in ourselves. With that alone, we no longer have fear. We get rid of fear completely. No more sugar in the blood. With that, we should delete any need and problems of the liver when we're going through need. How are we going to have going through need? If you're going through need, it's because you're a miserable Elohim. Not above our Father, but you. You're the miserable one, that you don't do anything else. You said, but have to work more. No, you have to believe more. You have to command more. You have to command your life more, your surrounding more abundance, that you're more abundant. If you decide, for example, if you make a list, we've taught this in DAR, the program DAR, and say, I want a house. And they would say, how would you like that house? You would say, I want a house that is one room for me. I have two children, so a 3-bedroom house and 2 bathrooms. Maybe one is enough. I'm not asking for much. That's a mistake. That's a brutal mistake. You don't have to ask for a house to wherever you can pay for. That's the miserable mind that you have. What house do you want? An enormous house. I want a mansion. A beautiful, huge room. Many more bedrooms. Huge mansion is what I want. That is what life brings you. So then you, whatever you imagine, is what will become a reality, because you're Elohim. You don't understand it. I know you don't. But if you were to understand a little bit, never again don't ask for what you need, but rather ask for what you desire. There's a difference. What you need is what's exactly what I need. I want this little bit. I wish I had a little garden. I don't want a little garden. I want to have all California. I want a whole garden. I don't see any neighbor in 100 miles that I have to fly there quickly if I want to see them. But I want a house here and a house there, and for the neighbor to, I'm listening to him cutting, mowing the lawn or working. I don't want to hear them anything. I don't want to hear a car passing by. It's not that I want a little garden. I want a whole brutal field. If you ask in big, you'll receive big. If you ask little, you'll receive little. That is whatever you have in your mind. Or you either open yourselves to be a fabulous Elohim or an Elohim that's tiny, that is okay with that which is little, that spends a little bit. Exactly. That would want to have an LVE ring and it says $200 is too much. Okay, that's your mind. But those who desire it, they have it. Just like that. Tell it to you like that. You wish it, you have it. I want it. Then I'll see whether or not, then I'll see how I'll pay for it because I believe it. I create it. It's incredible. I mean, it's just incredible. It is magical. You don't understand what the creation is. But Yeshua is not going to say a stupidity like, if I have faith like a grain of mustard, you would tell that mountain to get thrown into the sea. He's not going to say that. What if I don't have a mustard seed, but if I have it this big? Oh, no. You do incredible things. Whatever you want. Not a mountain. Whatever you wish. Just like that, whatever you wish. So, but I was saying a little mustard seed is what I was talking about. If you develop something bigger, like mine, or like Leslie's, then you're going to understand that you're Elohim. And I have nothing else to tell you. You'll understand that I'm giving you the authority of being judges. That is just for the medium ones, the little tiny mustard seed, that level. It's a beginner level, a basic kindergarten level that people don't even get to that. But if they get to kindergarten, they say they can move a mountain. Now, if you have faith, enough faith, like the Son of Man has, then you already know that you can resurrect yourselves. Just like that. You can be judges. You receive my authority, but that is faith. How magnificent. I mean, heavens, where are you going to hear what you hear here? Where else will you hear what you hear? Where will you hear what you hear? At least that, thank you. Not for you. I could give a fuck if you think I could give a fuck. I'm telling to you just so that you learn to give. You have to learn to give. If you learn to give, then you will receive, then you are mine. If you are miserable, you'll be miserable with yourselves. That is what happens with those that are miserable. Those miserable ones live in a little apartment like this. They have their life like this because they're miserable. And if they get some money, they don't want to spend it. Not even for themselves, they're still miserable. When you stop being miserable, that is when you say, to be miserable is to say, if I were to tell you, I'm going to test you. If you say, I'm going to write, what house would you like? How many of you would have said a little tiny house? And just to be humble, give or take, in just a good size. How many of you be honest? If Christian would have said right now, if you don't have a house, if you have a house and you'd like to move, what house would you like to move to? Write that. Don't do it now because I want to know, for you to examine yourself, what house would you have written? Would you have said, I have 2 bedrooms here, I'd like to have 3. A little bigger, one that has, enough to have something to plant back there. That I don't have to listen to the neighbor's music. How many stupid shit would you have said? I mean, it's a fantastic test of how miserable your mind is. If you are not miserable, you have written, I want to mention, an enormous one. Minimum, like 10 Olympic pool sizes. I mean, what are we going to ask? Something enormous, a garage that's minimum. In this circumstances, at least 100 cars, so I can have my collection. I don't have them now. Whenever I have at least 100 cars, what else could I have in my house? No, I'll start to add things. If you're asking for a house, that's my house, or else don't give me shit. You give me a little department. No, don't give me that. I don't want that shit. You said, what house do I like? That's the one that I like. And in every aspect, are you looking for a girlfriend? Oh, I'd like for a sweet girl, just like my mom. I'm saying, I'll just whatever the life gives me, I'll be content. Of course, you can. And then you're going to complain, look at what life gave me. That is what you were looking for. Everyone receives what they look for. Everyone receives what they have. What they want, that's what it is. There are so many rules in this game. Yahweh says, look, I make it rain over wicked and just people. But if you don't go out and get wet, what do you want me to do? It says, why do the red childs and all the sons of bitches, they have so much money? No, I'll make it rain everywhere. If they have more money, it's because they had more ambition than you. They wished more than you did. You didn't want to go out from that little tiny room. You were afraid of working. How the fuck am I going to give you the way I gave to them? He says, God makes it rain over wicked and just. It means that the possibilities are only in your mind. They're there. Or if we do not develop them, then I'm speaking to myself because we all have a little limit. Yeah, more than that, my mind does not give. No, my mind is a lot more than that. And even more than that, and way past that, and way more past that. When sometimes I say, what do I teach you today? I've taught you everything already, and then my mind says, no. The Bible, you can keep talking about it. Look, how long have I been speaking? Once again, it's been an hour 30, and I wasn't thinking about giving any introduction. It all started with the Shemah and this introduction, but it's very important because we are 2 months away in this subject, and you'll say, what'll happen? I don't know what'll happen, but in my mind, everything will happen. We'll enter into Jubilee. That's the way it is. We enter into Jubilee, and that's it. It's over. It's over. And am I afraid? How am I going to be afraid if I have life in myself? Are you afraid of starving to death? I cannot be afraid of starving to death, or else I could make the stones into bread. I've said it many times. I make water into colloidal silver. Now I make water into colloidal gold. Wow, I'm an animal. Now I'm worth gold. I am a beast of whatever I want to do. Even more, way past what I think. And you can do this also. I'm saying how you have to be. If we make a limit, I can't. What can't I? I can more and more and more. Why? Because I am Elohim. And why? Because the Father, my Father, that you don't have because you have a Trinity. You can say whatever the fuck you have. My Father is the only one there is, the Creator. That Father that I have, that came 2,000 years ago, that's called Jesus. That Father gave me life to have in myself. He didn't give it to you because you don't have that Father. You don't believe in that Father, but He gave it to me. You Christians, not you. You Christians. You can tell me that maybe I'm crazy, but no, you can't even kill me because I won't allow it unless I want to. If I wanted to, and if I wanted to, I have power to take it back. Why? Because my Father gave me that commandment. He also gave me the commandment of being a judge. And we've already started to execute and exercise that propriety of that title, that marvelous title. It's incredible. I could talk a lot more about this so that your mind will start to loosen up, so that your mind will start to understand that we're greater than what we think, that we're not that Jacob worm, that we're not a piece of shit worm, that no, not we. We are the supreme court of justice of heaven and earth. We're the sons of Elohim. We are the Messiah. We are the Son of Man that is already here on earth. That's it. We only need to understand even more than that. And need that time designed by our Father. But today you have understood something. Today you've understood that you cannot be afraid of anything. Why? Why? Because we have life in ourselves. You cannot be afraid of the future. You cannot be afraid that your husband leaves you. Let him go. Fuck off. I can make another one. You can look for another one. I have power to make him come back. Why? Because my life does not depend on him or on her or a group of people. Because I am Elohim. I am Elohim. Why am I afraid? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I am not afraid of anything. Completely nothing. Zero fear. Completely. Very well. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of Elohim to conceal the word. It is concealed. It's only for kings, and yet it is the honor or glory of the king, precisely, of the Son of Man, the one that has life in himself. The judge is what? To search out, to delve into the truth, into the word. That is precisely what we do. We enter into the teachings that are hidden, that are secret, because that term is not used well. Everybody thinks that they enter into this with secret, but the kings only enter into the secrets of the scripture. Very well. Malachi 2:17 reads as follows. And let's go ahead and check if we've got any likes with everything that I've just taught you. We've got 261 likes. We've got more people watching. We've got 32 people watching that have not given us a like because they are not gods. We've got 39 people that are worms of Jacob. Worms of Jacob, or servants rather, of the Messiah. Servants.
Maybe they just forgot.
And therefore I'll ask, what Elohim from here forgot to give us a like? If you've forgotten to give us a like, that number has to go up. 298, maybe. What would a Christian think if they're hearing me for the first time? Are they running out of here? They get stomachache? What is it? I mean, wow.
Maybe they think you're satanic.
And yes, very well, it's going up. The Elohim had forgotten momentarily. Very well, Malachi 2:17 says, Ye have wearied Yahweh with your words, and you say, And what have we wearied him? In that you say, Whomever doth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and in such he findeth delight. And that's true. Both things. He delights in those who do wrong, or else he also delights because he made this creation to be evil. Of course he delights in them because they are his tools, his minions, his workers. Of course he finds delight in for them to generate this malevolent reality. He finds delight in Putin, in Bill Gates. What's the name of that guy? That piece of shit son of a bitch of that monetary. What's his name? No, we can add that. I forgot that son of a bitch. From the International Monetary Forum. No one knows here. I can see. No, not the president. International Forum President. Schwab, but of course, Klaus Schwab, that one. The reset. That little horn and all the rest. So then, does Yahweh find delight in them? Of course, because he put them there in power. And they're his minions. They is the reality of his Trump also, another one. Yahweh applauds. He says, that's my job. Those of, I don't want to, this brand, this is by Phi. All of Hollywood. And then Zer. It's all by them. By that brand. Those please Yahweh? Of course they please Yahweh. They make millions of doses. They please Yahweh. Of course, exactly. They please Yahweh. Why? Because they work for him. It is the cup that he gives to Jeremiah. It says, take this one by Phi and give it to them, to everyone. And if they want to have it, then make a modern one. Make a modern one, a more modern one. Moderna in Spanish. If they want the Phi, then take the modern one. even more clarified, and then take many more different doses, different drinks. You can drink many shots, take many shots, drink many shots, and it'll be, who did that? Yahweh. Yahweh did that. So then it says, and you say that, of course we said that, because you handle the world, of course we say that, but of course you say that. It's in the Bible clearly. Look at Revelation chapter 13. Revelation chapter 13. It as follows. It reads as follows. 13:2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon, who's the dragon? But of course the dragon is Yahweh. If you understand the scripture, or else you're going to deviate from it. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Who gave him that? His power, seat, and authority? The dragon. And to whom did he give it? To Israel. He didn't give him his power, of course. Did he not give him his seat? Of course. He chose him, of course. And did he not give him his great authority? If he hadn't done so, they would not exist. That little group. It's a little tiny group, and they dominate the world. You know, for a tiny little group like this, just like this, and this is lots of symbols like this. It's a very tiny, like an asshole of a little group. That little tiny, tight group like this dominates the world. Why? For these three reasons. It says, and the dragon gave him his power. What power do they have? The dragon. Or else they would not be the owners of it all. But of course not. What else did he give him else? His throne. That old Jerusalem, that is where Yahweh would sit. He would sit there. What else did he give him? Great authority. With what? With the whole world. So then who gave him authority? To the beast. He did. He did. Who makes the doses? Who does? He does. His beast does them, right? Because he gave her authority. But of course. But we as Elohim say, no, that is not for me. That is for the others that have to use that product. But it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm not even preaching. Don't take that. I almost would say, did you take enough doses? People say, did you take all the doses? All the doses they told you, did you take them all? Do you need any? Do you need a reinforcement? A reinforcement, but for people that is Elohim, no, that is not for you. But for the rest, yeah, maybe it is for you. Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, don't worry about it, because if you're nothing else, if you don't see a cow that is tied to a tree, then go ahead. So then, Malachi 2:17 says, what do you say? And I say it. Whoever doth evil pleaseth Yahweh. That is true. That is true, because Yahweh is the dragon. And evil dominates the world. And the husband gave him power, gave him his authority, and he gave her his seat, his throne. And they are good inside of the Lord, and he delighted in them. Or, where is the Elohim of judgment? Of course, we say both things. That's why we have Mr. Penguin, where is the Elohim of justice? What a beautiful penguin. How I like it. I like it. These are difficult to get. These are difficult to get. She had to get it on their website because they had them in Amazon, but not so famous. Everything that I buy becomes famous. I don't know why. Everything runs out. Everything starts to run out. It's so famous. We're able to get it only in the original place. How beautiful. He's still pissed even if I kiss him. Poor penguin. I'll take you back to Argentina. You want to go back to Argentina? I personally will take you. One of these days, I'll take you. One of these days. I'll take you to know the sacred lands of the South. There, I'll take you. I'll take you there. We have to go to Antarctica. We have to go to lands that humans don't even know. Past Antarctica, we can help you take there. There are special places. Very well. So then, where is the Elohim of justice? Leslie posted in the invitation these greetings that she gave me that are precious, and didn't place them in the sense of greetings, but in the sense for us, like the eternal truth. For example, it says, I love a love story. I love our love story. apply it to the eternal truth. Every one of you, do you love our love story of the eternal truth? It's marvelous. The other greeting says, with you until the end of the world. With whom? With the eternal truth until the end of the world. But of course, absolutely, in that sense, she posted them in case you didn't understand. That is the sense that the eternal truth is a love story, of course, the greatest of them all. And with the eternal truth, we will go until the very end of the world. I'm not saying up until death. No, up until the end of the world. If we get to death, it won't be any worth. It will be worthless as we can resurrect ourselves until the end of the world. And the text says, who has heard such a thing? Just like the ones that I have taught, or who had seen anything like this? Is an entire nation begotten in one day? Is one nation begotten in one day? As soon as she felt the pains of travail, Zion gave birth to her children. She brought forth her children, the Son of Man. Marvelous, absolutely marvelous. The interpretation that Leslie posted in pictures. Marvelous. I don't know how many of you noticed this or thought that it was just trying to show you the greetings that she gave me. No, now she gave them to you. They were mine, Leslie. Now Leslie gave them to all of you. And since they were mine, both of us, between Leslie and I, we give them to all of you. Very well.
If you don't understand, then we'll explain it to you.
If you didn't understand it, rewind and watch it many times over until you understand it. Until you understand it. And everything that I said at the beginning. You have to watch it over many, many times and understand it until you say, wow, actually, I am a judge and I'm the son of Elohim, and actually I have power to even fight death. Yes, actually, it is true. It is true. Completely, it is true. And you have to believe it. And one might say, I can't believe it. Well, to them, to not everyone, because what I'm about to say, I shouldn't say. Just like that, I should not say this. I'll clarify this in a slow motion. Some understand it that way. What I'm about to say next, I should not say it because I don't believe it. But we need a little character here that makes signs when these so many deaf people and they're speaking and they're going like this, with signs, and one goes like that, and with those strange ones they're going like this, and they go like that. I was like, how strange. Because I'm looking at the deaf mute signs. Are they fucking with me? Of course, are they saying? Because I don't see it too related. I'm an ignorant because I'm not deaf, because it makes me laugh, and I say, isn't it better to write it instead of making signs of woo 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 like this and like that? You see how they make, to top it off, the stupid face, there's the most stupid person that they could find, and that's the one they use, and the idiot face they use. How I hate that. Isn't it easier for somebody to write what she says and the deaf mute to read? But they put, go like this. Yeah, whoa, whoa. Ooh. Okay, let's leave that aside. And I forgot what I was saying. What was I going to say?
They even ashamed themselves.
Okay, stop. No, I forgot what I was saying. What was I going to... Oh, what I'm about to say in slow motion, I don't think about this, not even then. But I'm going to say it for those who are just doubting. Oh, so you understand. Okay. If it were not so that we don't have power to resurrect ourselves, you won't even notice when you die. But how ugly it is to live thinking that if you die, it's over, and you are afraid, and you're afraid of dying. That produces all types of DHSs. How beautiful it is to say, I don't have any fear of dying. I have power to resurrect myself. And even if I weren't so, just by believing that, you eliminate so many DHSs. Did you understand what I said?
You live a happy life.
Completely. Powerful life, and if you die, no one resurrects you, no one exists anything, and the worms eat you, like they would say. Just like my father-in-law would say, you're just food for worms. If that were to happen, but then you lived, as long as you were alive, you were not fearful of death, that you had DHSs of all kinds. No. Exactly. And you're gonna die either way. But those are fearful.
The fear of death, it's so imperceptible that you don't even notice.
That is why I didn't want to say it, because I don't believe any of that. But of course, I don't believe it. And the people live afraid, washing their hands, protecting themselves. Given those, I look like the deaf mute people already, like they with doses. This is for the deaf mute. Give me one, give me another, another. That's why the doctors here, I heard some. That's why God gave us two arms, one for flu, and another one for the other thing, for the cup of wine. What? So then they go like this and like that, because they're afraid. They're afraid that they come and they protect themselves, and they are wearing this and double. Wow, what sense of to live with fear? It is better for you to live 10 seconds without fear than to live a whole 100 years with fear. I just made that. Okay, I've never heard it before. It is way better. So then, I personally, I'm sorry for you, but I have power to resurrect myself. So I have it. It's not that I believe it. I have it. I have it because I know that I have it. I know. Now, if you don't believe that, and it doesn't turn out like that way, but I'm happy living that I have it, because you'll be happier. Did you understand? It's not my case because I have it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't believe me, but I do believe it, and I have it. I have it, and I can prove it always. I have that and a lot more. Okay. So then, we can go into the subject now. We can enter into Bethuwlah part 10. Let us enter into Bethuwlah part 10. And now this time, because we still have time, I won't leave you just yet. No, still have a little longer.
We have two lasagnas that are waiting.
Oh, yes, lasagna. That'd be great. That's true. It's 2 hours, right? But I'm going to read to you Bethuwlah. Revelation 12, 1 through 18. I'll read it. In the book of the people of God, like I've been reading lately, and here it goes. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she was with child, travailing in birth, in pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great dread dragon like fire, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them down to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And the woman had a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God, and he was elevated up unto God. He understands he has to be elevated. When I'm trying to make you understand that you're Elohim, you have to elevate yourself unto God. But the child was caught up unto God in his throne, but of course. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had placed prepared of God that she should be fed there during 1,260 days. Great, marvelous, absolutely marvelous. 2018, 2022. Wow, marvelous. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels, which is like unto God, he that understands this, that is like unto God, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels, but they prevailed not, and they were kicked out from heaven. Oh, that's awful for them. How awful for them. They were kicked out of heaven. What is heaven? Power. Power is heaven. You already know this. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then watch all the previous chapters. And the great dragon was cast out. The enormous Babylon was cast out. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, the seducer of the whole world, was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud, powerful voice in heaven. It has come, salvation has, and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Messiah. For the accuser has been cast out. The accuser has been cast out. The accuser of our brethren has, which accused them day and night before our God. They themselves overcame him, thanks to the blood of the Lamb, and by the testimony, marturia, that they gave of him. And they loved not their lives unto death. Let heaven rejoice. And who is heaven? Those who dwell therein, those who have gone up into power, the dragon. But of course, heaven is power, government, dominion of the world. That is heaven. For heaven rejoice, and the inhabitants therein. The inhabitants would be those who make up that power. But woe unto you, earth and sea, for the devil is come down unto you from power, Babylon, unto you, having great wrath, knowing that he hath but a short time. And the dragon saw that he was cast out unto the earth. He persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. And the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly and fly and fly into her refuge in the desert, wherever the fuck she wants. Where she had to be nourished, not where she was already nourished, not once again nourished, where she was, let me correct this, where she had already been nourished for a time and time and a half, far from the serpent, far from lies. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. But the earth came and helped the woman, and opened her mouth, and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon had cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant, those who were left, the remnant of her. The wrath against the woman can't do anything against the woman. Why? Because the woman is a judge. Why? Because the woman has life in herself. So he can't do anything to her. The dragon was wroth against the woman, and he went to war against whom? Against the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim, of God, and have the testimony of Yeshua. Many different things to what you believe or Christianity. But that we've already studied. Marvelous. So then we advance on to Isaiah 66. Isaiah chapter 66. And we begin with number 1. Yahweh saith thus, Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? I've already explained this many times, but I'll repeat it again quickly so that it is recorded into your mind. Yahweh says, I live in heaven. In other words, outside of the earth, it's all heaven. Heaven, the earth is standing on 4 columns. Maybe they're not too high. It's just to separate it a bit from heaven. The rest is heaven. Yahweh said that those columns will fall. So when they fall, everything falls like this, like I already explained many times. So then, the whole rest is heaven. We can go through Argentina. That's how we access there. In order to go to heaven, you got to go to Argentina, not Australia. It's worthless. It's worthless. I mean, absolutely not in the very least. But if you want to go to heaven, you have to go in the direction of Argentina, of silver, and of silver, then you have access to the easiest way to access, which is the South Pole, but that's not what they told you. The South Pole has no end. It is the beginning of heaven. In other words, Argentina is the gate to heaven. Wow. Take that. Suck on that, why don't you? The U.S. is too far from in the gate of heaven. They're in the center of the earth. In the center. You don't see anything. They're in the center of the earth. The U.S. is here. Israel is also in the very center of the earth. There is no gate to heaven. The only gate to heaven, you have to come down from Israel, from Europe, from the US of A, from whatever country of this earth that's dry, in the part of the water, and advance. And you advance down through America, the blessed land, go through the US, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and whatever else is there. I'll mention everyone. What is next? Honduras, Nicaragua, whoever. Costa Rica, Ecuador, Panama. You go through the Panama Canal, Panama, then you enter into Colombia, Brazil, Paraguay, Ecuador, that I've mentioned already. You go through Bolivia, Venezuela, I didn't mention. You go through Bolivia, you go through Peru, you can go around Bolivia, Peru, Paraguay. You went through Brazil, you advance, you go through Uruguay, you touch Chile, and you get to the glorious land. You get to the glorious land. What is the glorious land? Argentina, Argentum, silver. That's how you get to the glorious land. And the land, it's the most virgin land because no one lives there. The last census, they 45 million Argentinians. It's bigger than Mexico. Argentina is bigger than Mexico, the land of Mexico. You don't believe me? Look it up. And do your comparisons. Brazil is bigger, but Brazil is not the gate of heaven. You have to go from Brazil and keep advancing towards heaven. You have to continue to advance to heaven. You have to, from Uruguay, you have to advance to heaven. Chile also, you have to cross those mountains and go to heaven. It says, no, we give them all that. We have a piece of shit president that we give them away. Almost part of ours we give to Chile. But Chile, they're our brethren. So then, all of America are brethren. Not even, I divide it into countries. We, Latin America, are a country. And that country is the gate to heaven, the closest one where the portals to heaven is Argentina. And then you advance, of course. It's closed. Babylon closed it because they know that if you discover it, you won't enter to heaven, but you'll go into a wall. You can't go anywhere. It's not that you have access to heaven. No. What Babylon wants is for you not to know that the earth has an end, and that we're confined, and that we cannot advance. That's all. If they were to see, if they were to allow everyone to see that we get to a place that we cannot advance anymore, it says, well, this is not a globe. That's it. It's over. No more lies to Babylon. That's it. It falls to pieces. We know that they never went to the moon, that it's all lie, that satellites do not exist, that there's no nuclear bombs. Then we would know that pharmakeia is lies. We would notice about everything. So then it's not convenient. It's all closed. It's all blocked. And so then in your mind, you are a worm, a victim of not just of them, but also of a Big Bang, and that we're nothing, that we are a minuscule grain of whatever going around a galaxy, unthinkable movements, when all that could be solved if they were just to allow us to cross the gate unto heaven. Precisely that is in Argentina. So then, Yahweh, I'm still talking about the subject. Yahweh says, where? It says, heaven is my throne, and the enter into heaven is Argentina. Heaven is my throne. Heaven is my throne. The earth, yeah, that's where I put my feet. Speaking. It says, but where is the house that ye will build unto me? And here we have the temple. Yeah, but no, not that. That's dog shit. I don't want that. In fact, I'll destroy it. It was the first temple, that of Solomon's. I'll destroy it. It says, but what is the house that you're going to build unto me? But then you want a temple. No, I don't want a temple. I want a house where it'll be the place of mine rest. I've already explained this. The part and the word of rest can be interpreted as a matrimony. What is my matrimonial bed, give or take? That is what the text is trying to say. Because man finds rest in a woman. So then he says, where is it? Where will I rest? In you? No, not you, in that temple, no. What is it? The body, the house, the temple, the body, in which I will find rest. It is a prophecy of Yahweh that is prophesying that his house, that his temple, that his body, that he will find rest. He will have to do it himself. That is what he's prophesying. And he answers that himself up ahead. He says, has anybody seen such a thing? No, no one. He says, well, okay, then I'll make a nation be born in one day. But what is that nation? It is the temple that I said in the beginning. No one understands this prophecy. It's so simple to understand. Did you see how I told you that I'm looking for a temple, that I'm looking for a body, that I want to have someone to rest in, a body in whom I can find rest? Well, since there isn't, and like you, I don't like any of you, what I'm going to do is build one for myself. And how will you do it? I'm going to do something no one has seen. That not even, it hasn't come up to anybody's mind. How are you going to do it? I'm going to do, in one day, make a nation be born. Because I'm not going to marry one person to be too boring. I'm Yahweh. I think in the maximum, I'm Yahweh. I'll marry a group. And that one that I marry, since you can never produce with your dog shit Jewish religion, could never produce something that I like, not even structurally, nor as a nation, nor as a religion, then I'll make it myself. And they like, where? That I'll tell you later. I'll tell you, but I'll make it myself. This prophecy, and we take off. And I always say, heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. Where's my house? Where's the temple? Where's the body that ye are to build unto me? You can't build anything to me. And where is the place of my rest? Who will be my eternal companion? Which will be my help meet? Where is she? In whom will I rest? In whom? Mine hand has made all these things, saith Yahweh. He's still clarifying. He says, I am the creator. My hand, I don't have a companion. I don't have a father. I don't have a son. I don't have an invisible twin. No, none of that. I'm alone. My hand has made all things. And that not all things happened, says Yahweh. But I will see unto him that is poor and humble of spirit, that trembles at my word. Perfect. At a simple glance, it would seem that it's whomever that says that they are poor and humble and they tremble at his word. That's the last thing he's trying to say. That's the last thing he's trying to say, and I've already explained this. All this is codified. It means I will only look for those who love me. And in order to love Yahweh, you have to understand that it's only one person. You don't love three, but rather you love Yahweh. So then, one of the things that identifies us is an insane love for Yahweh, for only one being, three. And there are more things, but we'll see them. And Yahweh says, and now I'm going to talk a little bit about your religion, kids. But they're like, didn't you give us the Torah? Yeah, I give the Torah and all that shit. But actually, it's all dog shit. Who says this? Yahweh. He that sacrificeth an ox is as if he killed a man. But didn't you tell us that only with blood does the remission of sins takes place, in that you accepted the blood? Yeah, that's true, I told you. But it was just to take out that dogshit nation, that dogshit religion, in order to demonstrate what doesn't work, and to demonstrate what a beast is, well trained, by the way, and you will end up ruling the world because I'll give you power. But either way, it's still all dog shit. It's a demonstration of injustice. So then, he that sacrifices, he says, every time you sacrifice an ox for me, he says, for Yahweh, it's as if you were to kill a man. It's like, it is nauseous, and I have to stand it. It's dog shit, and I am with Yahweh in this. It's dog shit. It's dog shit. What else does the Jewish religion have, Yahweh? He says, well, the one that sacrificeth the sheep. I already told you about the ox, which is more expensive. But now the one that sacrificeth the sheep, which is cheaper, it's as if he would to slit a dog's throat. And since I am a dog lover, I would rather they would slit a sheep's throat. But for me, he says, that's Yahweh, that is. Since I love sheep and the dogs, he says, in order for you to understand how much it displeases me, it's as if you were to slit a dog's throat. For me, between slaughtering a sheep and a dog, I'd rather we slit a sheep's throat, right? We all agree. Unless it's a neighbor's dog. If it's the neighbor's dog that annoys you and barks all night, then you slit that dog's throat. Yeah, I mean, that one. That's it. I'd have to control myself not to do that. But to sacrifice a good dog, you say, wow, poor thing, poor dog. No, slaughter the sheep and not the dog. But the one that sacrifices the sheep, it's as if they were to slaughter what? A dog. This is the disgust of Yahweh. Disgust of Yahweh. He that doth an offering is like, let's say you don't slit a sheep's throat, but you offer up a burnt offering. It could be a dove, it could be bread, it could be a whole bunch of things. He that offereth of a burnt offering is as if he offereth swine's blood. He says, it's so disgusting to me as if to kill a man. And what is like a Jewish religion is like killing a man. It's like slaughtering a dog, and it says offering swine's blood. That is the Jewish religion. He that offereth up incense for me, he says, for me, it's as if he would bless an idol, to top it off, an idolater. And because they chose their own paths and their soul loved their abominations. And what are their abominations? All that dog shit that I just mentioned. Tell the truth, everyone could understand whatever they want. I understand exactly what is written in the sense that Yahweh says it. Those abominations are those sacrifices. Also, I will choose unto them confusion and bring upon them what is coming to them, because I called and no one answered. I spoke and they did not hear. But they did what was wicked in mine eyes, and they chose what disgusts me and what displeases him. He just told you sacrifices and all types of all the injustice they did. What displeases Yahweh? Sacrifices. That's it. Very clear. And into that we include all the religions. All the religions. Every last one of them. 5. Hear the word of Yahweh. Ye that tremble at his word. Once again, who are those? Those who love him. Those who love him tremble at his word. They don't tremble of fear. They tremble because their heart trembles. Your brethren that hated you, they're all brethren? Yes. So then who's he talking with? The Jews, the Christians, whoever are your brethren? When they get the message, your brethren that hate you, they cast you out for my name's sake. So then how we're going to be persecuted, which we could care less, right? But that was to start. We had to come out of their churches and their persecution. And now we're persecuted and we say things that are inappropriate in YouTube. It's a form of persecution. I can't speak freely. I have to speak in parables still, because we have these idiot in YouTube. They're idiots. At least the parables they don't understand, but such idiots that they don't get any one of the parables, because if they would, they would block us, of course. But of course. But we have brethren that are very stupid, very stupid. It says, so then, why are they going to persecute him? Oh, because of my name's sake. Oh, because of your name? Yes. For my name's sake, they said, Yahweh be glorified. Wow. Those that persecute us say what? Yahweh be glorified. Oh, those are the worst persecutors. Careful. Those are the worst. And in our case, Christians, also Jews, because they are the worst persecutors, because they persecute you and they say, Yahweh be glorified. Absolutely. Marvelous. I'll read it again. Well, I'll continue on. Yahweh be glorified, they said, these little brethren that we have. But he will show himself to your joy. Who Yahweh will show himself shall appear to whose joy? Ours. Ours. He says our. It says your. To those that were being persecuted by the brethren that say, Yahweh be glorified. But he will show himself for your joy, not for the that say Yahweh be glorified. No, not in that sense, but for the joy of this little minority. But he will show himself, appear to your joy, the majority, those who sacrifice, those who have a religion, those who go to the temple to be purified, Paul and all the rest, those that go to all types of temples looking for Yahweh, and they raise their hands and says, glory be glorified. All that dog shit that said Yahweh be glorified. Oh, glory to God, glory to God. they're not going to hear me ever say, because we're already in another phase of humanity. Another phase of humanity because of Christianity. Oh, glory to God. They open their Bible. Glory to God, the word of God. Glory. They say, the people that say, glory, Yahweh be glorified. They say, what happens? They will be confounded. So then if you say, Yahweh be glorified, what will happen with you? You'll be confounded and ashamed. But how could that be? In whom will Yahweh show himself to the children of Elohim? But he will show himself to your joy. And who are you? The Messiah. So then what do we say? Let us be glorified. Say what? Of course. We are waiting for the moment of our glorification, not that of Yahweh. More glory for Yahweh. No. We say, we be glorified. You, my most esteemed colleague, be glorified. Glorified be your name. Glorified be my name. And you say, the Christians looking are saying, what is this guy saying? Yeah, say it. Yahweh be glorified. And you enter into this group, and they'll be confounded. The text itself says it. I'll read it again in case you didn't understand, because your mind it's in cognitive dissonance, and they're like, it starts to tremble. It can't be. He's being blasphemous. I say with my heart, Yahweh be glorified. Yeah, repeat it. Continue to repeat it. And here's the text. It reads as follows. Hear Yahweh, the word of Yahweh. Ye that tremble at his word, your brethren, yes, these little brethren that glorify Yahweh. It says, your brethren that hated you, that cast you out of the churches, of the synagogues, of wherever, for my name's sake, thinking that they give glory to Yahweh, they said, Jehovah be glorified. Well, who says Jehovah be glorified? They say that. What do we say? We be glorified. What are we waiting for Yahweh to say? No, we're waiting for us to be glorified, and that's what we're asking for. That is what we're asking for. We say, long live the sons of Elohim. Don't we say that? Long live. They say, long live Elohim. Elohim lives, and he's kicked back. But what we say is, long live is the sons of Elohim. Long live the bride of Elohim. Long live Mashiach. Long live the Mashiach. Long live us. We be glorified. That is what we say. What did the rest of our brethren say? Jehovah be glorified. Yahweh be glorified. But he, here it goes, but he will appear to your joy. And they, the glorified Yahweh, shall be what? Confounded and ashamed. What happens is that Yahweh will not appear into the world for now. The Messiah will appear into the world. Exactly. When the Messiah, who was Yahweh, concealed under humanity, came, the people would also say, glorified be unto Yahweh. You are a blasphemer. Crucify this blasphemer. Didn't they say that? The rest of Israel said, didn't they glorify Yahweh, or were they atheists? Tell me. They glorified Yahweh, yes or not? They all glorified Yahweh. They would rip their clothes apart, saying, this blasphemer is sinning against Yahweh. The whole time they would say it. He wants to destroy the temple of Yahweh. So then there was Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. And he said, hold on, I'm the Son of Man. If you don't believe in me, you don't have eternal life. I'll crucify that son of a bitch. I came to forgive sins. What is he going to forgive sins? Only Elohim forgives sins. You're not Elohim. You're a son of a bitch. That is what the people would actually say. In this case, it's the same thing. People say, glorified be Yahweh if you're Jewish, fucked up. If you're fucked up, jodido, fucked up in Spanish. Or you're Christian. It's a thing. So then we say, we're the sons of Elohim. Go back to the cunt that bore you, sons of bitches. Glorified be to Yahweh. We say, no, we be glorified. It's even more blasphemous. What do you think, that you have power to forgive sins? Not just that. We have power to resurrect ourselves, to resurrect others, to judge, and to fuck up your life. Yes. Send you to the lake of fire if we want. So then careful with what you say. Careful. Do not upset us, because the wrath of the man lights up in a second. So careful, kings, careful, Christians, careful with the Son, because you must honor the Son. How? Yes, read it, Psalms 2. The Son says, doesn't say the Son honor Yahweh. It says, careful, honor the Son, and come to kiss the Son, lest his wrath be inflamed and destroy you all. Then who is the one that has to live? The Son! The Son! Long live the sons of Elohim! Long live the bride of Elohim! Let us live! That is what we have to say. That is what we say. That is the eternal truth. The eternal truth. Those who have life in themselves. Those who are God's. The rest will be confounded.
And that is the true worship.
That is the true worship. Those are the ones that love Yahweh. That is the group that Yahweh says, finally have rest on someone. I'm already sick and tired. Said, glorify Yahweh. I'm sick and tired of them to say, glorify Yahweh. Yahweh be glorified. And then they bring me all kinds of problems. Just no. They ask me, I'm already sick and tired of them. Where is the house? Oh, this is the group. This is the group. Absolutely, this is the group. 6. A voice of noise from the city. And the voice started already. It's just that we hear it now. A voice of noise from the city. A voice from the temple. Which is the voice of the temple? And Christians will say, the Jews, that before the destruction of the temple, you would hear voices of the temple. It has nothing to do with this prophecy. This prophecy of the end of time. And at this time, there is no temple. There is no temple. So then what is the voice of the temple? This is concealed. A voice of noise in the city. It is a voice of problems, disaster, multitude of problems, yelling of terror in the city. A voice of the temple. It is the voice of the bride, of the sons of Elohim. The voice of Yahweh. There it is. I tell it to you what the text says. Well, I'll read everything and then I'll explain it. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahweh that rendereth recompense to his enemies. The text says literally this. The voice of Yahweh is heard, which is the voice of a group of human beings that are called the sons of Elohim. And the people yell because their recompense is being given to them. That is what the text says. You find yelling in the city because the voice of Yahweh through a group of people that are super powerful are making them trample and pacifying the people. That is what the text says. It is the voice of noise in the city, a voice of the temple, voice of Yahweh that rendereth recompense to his enemies. And I want to read this in other versions. I don't have it here. Let me look in a different version. We'll go to Isaiah 66. I am in number 6. Let's see what another version says. And this is 666. How great. This is 666. That's where you hear the voice of God, which is the voice of Yahweh, ours. In this point of Yahweh, in this point in time, mine is the voice of Yahweh. Yahweh has no other voice other than mine. That's all I'm saying. But in the final group, the voice of Yahweh is the voice of the group, because they give recompense to his enemies. And they have so much power that makes noise to be in the city, not just in the city, in the entire world. 6. I'll read it like this. I'll read it in the Spanish DHH. Let's look for the DHH. Reads as follows. That noise from the city, that noise that comes from the temple, it is the noise that the Lord causes by giving recompense to his enemies. It's mixed up at the same thing. The temple is the bride. The voice with which he speaks is the voice of Yahweh. It was the voice of the bride. Just like mine. Now, the voice of the bride. And why is the city with noise? Because they are being punishing. The enemies are being punished. How fun will this be? Now, let's go to a different version. Let's go to the New Living Translation. New Living Translation says, what is all the commotion in the city? What is that terrible noise from the temple? The temple. And when I say read temple, there's no temple. Temple is a bride. What is that noise, that voice that comes from the bride, from that group of people? It is the voice of Yahweh. It is the voice of Yahweh. So then the voice of the temple is the voice of Yahweh. So then you're not going to hear the voice of Yahweh. You're going to hear the voice of the bride. And that voice of the bride is the voice of Yahweh. taking vengeance against his enemies. Spectacular, marvelous, a different version. Let's go to the book of the people of God. It says, a voice that sounds from the city, that comes out of the temple. It is the voice of the Lord that recompense to his enemies. One is better than the next. Spectacular. I was looking for another one. Let's see. Nakarkulunga, what it says. This version here, BLA. What is this version? Latin American. Yeah, Latin American version. I hear noise yelling from the city, or a voice that comes from the temple. It is the voice of Yahweh that gives its reward to his enemies, and they're all the same. You already understand that it is concealed. There's no temple. What is the temple? It is the temple that Yahweh created. And that today he will explain how he created it, because it didn't exist. How he creates it, that man-child, that the woman brings forth, it is the understanding of understanding who he is, that group of people. Very well. 7, then, and that one's great because Isaiah 66:6. Isaiah 6:6 is where you hear the voice of the bride, the voice of the children of Elohim, which is the voice of Yahweh. But of course, it's the voice of Yahweh. So then whom should they glorify? The Son. They have to glorify the Son. 7, before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child, and it is a man-child. Who is? It is the world. The world is desperately waiting for the children of Elohim, desperately waiting for the revelation of the children of Elohim. And then, in a moment in history, it gives birth to the world. And what will he give birth? That is what he gives birth. And Yeshua says so in Matthew 24, that she starts to feel the pains of travail. So the pains of travail has to do with great tribulation, and it has to do with what it's been said here. It says, but before, some of you understood it by saying last Shabbat, and I explained it some days ago. Some of you maybe don't understand it. I hope you understand it today. It says before, this prophecy was fulfilled to the letter. Before she was in pains of travail, the world was going to be in pains of travail in the year 2019. That's why it's called the cup of wine 2019. That is when the world was placed at home, right? They were paralyzed, they were horrified, and they needed to be marked. Well, that is precisely the beginning of the Great Tribulation. The beginning of the Great Tribulation. And that would take to the mark of the beast and the rest that comes in the Great Tribulation. Okay. But the prophecy, so that you understand this, how it was fulfilled to the letter, because I'm not trying to make anything fit. How it was fulfilled to the letter, it says that the man-child had to be born before the world entered into the pains of travail. The entire world entered into the pains of travail, and anyone can say this. At what point in time did the world enter into pains of travail? It'll say it with the cup of wine 2019. I can't even say the name because they'll block it. That is how they entered. Up until now, different families, lineages, and branches, and blah, blah, blah. And they're going around. So when did the whole world enter into this final world? Maybe the people don't understand that it's the end, but let's suppose, when did we start? From the cup of wine 2019. From March 11th, how? March 11th, what by chance, March 11th, the sickness organization and the worldwide psychosis said that it was Pan, God Pan, God Pan and his demons, God Pan and his demons were declared March 11th of the year 2020, and it was called it's 2019 because it had started before. In March 2020, they said, no, this is true. You have God, Pan, and his demons in the entire world, and we declare Pan and the demons year 11, month, the third month, 11th, March, the third month on the 11th day. It's all well designed. Okay. But the prophecy says, what does the prophecy say? Before she travailed, she gave birth. So before she had pain, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man child. We have to go back. The man child had to be born before. When was she born? Clearly, the man child was born in the year 2017 in Yom Kippur, 2018, and was born new knowledge and what was not just protect, but everything that we know now was born. The new medicine, the purification of the temple, and the purification of the temple comes because we, without noticing, had given birth, because we gave birth without pain. Pain came later. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't understand it, watch it 20 times over. We gave birth without pain. We did not have pain, and we didn't know what the world would be in pain, and it's the Son of Man. We didn't even understand it. We understood it later who the Son of Man was, little by little. To say, I am the Messiah, back then I could not say I'm the Messiah. I'm the Son of Man. I'm saying in 2018, I'm the Son of Man. Well, you maybe believe whatever I say, but many would have left. What do you mean? This guy would be gone. He's already out of the mambo. He's pissing outside the cup. Whatever. He's way past like 500,000 towns. He's crazy. I was going to say that he's the Messiah, and even more that we're the Messiah. The whole group. He's crazy. It says we are the man-child that has been slaughtered. No, he's really lost it now. But that is where the Son of Man had to be born. Even laughing without any pain, they had to be born, and was born without any pain. We did not know. And also the purification of the body began, which is done after it's born, and really after it started, the world started to be in pain. How incredible. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. In the Jerusalem 2001 says, before having pain, she gave birth. Before she travailed, she gave forth a man-child. Who? The woman. The woman, 2018, 8. Who hath heard such a thing? No one. Absolutely no one. Who hath heard such a thing? Who had seen such a thing? What thing? The man-child that was born, obviously. The world did not see it. The world did not understand it, but they will understand it. No one has ever seen such a thing. Because what was done, Yahweh said, I don't want anything of what has been made. I don't want a people that is formed. I don't want an established religion. I don't want anything of what you have to offer up unto me. Where is my temple? Where is the place of my rest? Oh, okay, I'll make it myself. You will see them be born, and I will make them be born before the pains come into the world. Who saw such a thing or heard such a thing? Well, the people conceive in one day. Who conceives in the entire world? We are not children of Israel. We're not sons of Christianity. We are the sons of Elohim. In other words, we are the direct children of His. We could say we are the children of the earth. We are children of Elohim. We're sons of man. And so then, this will not be based in any ethnic group. It's not based in any religion. It is based in the conception of Yahweh. That's the way it is. That's why it's so important to get away from religions, to unattach ourselves from beliefs, to unattach ourselves from countries, and to unattach ourselves from conceptions. preconceived. Why? Because Yahweh says so. Who hath heard such a thing? He was going to do something that no one has ever seen or heard before. He was going to do something that no one in their fucking life has ever seen or heard. Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? The earth conceived in one day as a place she conceived in one day, but it's not a man-child. A nation is born at once. An entire nation. Shall a nation be born at once? Clearly it's not talking about Israel. Israel had already been born. Israel is already born since long ago. Israel already existed since thousands of years ago. It is no Christian nation that already existed thousands of years ago. It is a new nation. A nation that was just born. They're going to be born precisely before the pains of travail will come. It was going to be a group of people, not only one individual, because it says, shall a nation be born once and for all? It's a nation. For as long as Zion, she has to place the name so that we can flame. They all go to Jerusalem. That piece of shit land, we're going to keep it maybe in one way or another as a stupid reminder of this humanity. A stupid museum. Maybe we'll conserve something. But in that land, never again will it be the glorious land. Never again. Why? Because it's the wife decides that. The wife decides that because this is a new nation. This is not Israel. This is not a new Israel. That name we use it now, but fuck it all to hell. This is not a new Christianity. No, this is a new nation. Shall a nation be born at once? For as Zion what started to travail, Zion was the name of the woman, Bethuwlah, Bethuwlah nation, because these are symbols. Zion has nothing to do with Jerusalem over there. Zion has nothing to do with Christianity. Zion is Bethuwlah. Zion was LVE. Before she gave birth, Zion is Bethuwlah. Bethuwlah is Zion. Zion is Bethuwlah. Bethuwlah will give birth a man-child. That man-child would rule the nations with an iron rod. That son would be ascended to God. Of course, he was ascended to the position of God. Don't look at it as, oh no, the son will be ascended. He sits with God. No. He will be ascended to God. As one is ascended to king. Do you understand? So then that son, they said, was ascended to God. But of course, once he understands he was God, he says, I am God. What? And I have life in myself. And I am a judge. So then I ascended to God, and he was sat on the throne. But of course, who had heard such a thing? Who saw such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day, and a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Who are the sons of Zion? Who are the sons of Bethuwlah? That is the eternal truth. It was also Bethuwlah, but she understood that it was a son of Elohim. Out of not understanding anything to understanding that we're the sons of Elohim, it is going from black to white. It's from night to day. It is night and day difference to wait for a Jesus in the clouds to be that Jesus in mystery is extremely different. And that is what gave birth, what the woman gave birth to. She understood that she was the man-child. That is what is to give birth. To give birth, the understanding of who the man-child is. That man-child ascends to be God, and that is an entire nation. Let's go ahead and read it in different nations, the New Living Translation, Isaiah 66:8. It reads as follows. Who has ever seen anything as strange as this? Yeah, it is strange for people. Who ever heard of such a thing? Has a nation ever been born? Let's turn it. Has a nation ever been born in a single day? Ever in history, has a nation been born in one day? No, never, ever. Because a nation starts with one or two. They start to get together. They get the name. They occupy a place. They fight for a place. They get their flag. They define that place, and they become a nation. That doesn't take one day. The stupid Christians say, Israel, in 1948, they declared the nation of that Israel, and they became the nation in one day. No. Just like that, no. That nation existed, the country, didn't have a fixed place there, but the nation existed, the nation of Israel. But of course, and it didn't take one day, it was 3 world wars by the same brain, we already know. It took many years to steal that land. To establish themselves in that land, to establish themselves in that place. So then it's not applied at all, and even less with those sons of bitches, even less. What does it say here? Has a nation ever been born in one single day? No, never. Has a country ever come forth in a mere moment? A country ever come forth in a mere moment? But by the time Jerusalem's birth pains began, which is Bethuwlah, her children will be born. So then, everything that we've learned from Bethuwlah is this. Absolutely marvelous. Let us read it in the New Spanish Bible, same text. Isaiah 66:8, New Spanish Bible. Who hath heard such a thing, or who has seen anything like this? Is an entire nation begotten in one day? Is an entire nation begotten in one day? This is marvelous. Is a nation being brought forth at once? As soon as she travailed, Zion brought forth her children. Marvelous. Who's Zion? Bethuwlah. Or Bethuwlah, Zion, same thing. Isaiah 66:8, I'll read it in the Jerusalem 2001, last one. Jerusalem 2001, Isaiah 66:8. Very well. It reads as follows. Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen anything like this? Is an entire nation given birth, is born in one day? And the question is, Yahweh asks this, is an entire nation being born in one day, or a nation entirely born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Bethuwlah gave birth to her children. Bethuwlah gave birth to the Son of Man. The eternal truth bore the man-child. The eternal truth gave birth to the man-child. Just like that. Look at how clear, if you see it like that. The eternal truth got pregnant and gave birth to the man-child. Exactly just like that. And that man-child judged. And that Son of Man is Elohim. And that Son of Man now understands that they have life in himself, that Son of Man. 9. I shall bring to the birth, not cause to bring forth. Wow. Yahweh asks. This is written. How marvelous. Yahweh asks. I am the one that causes the birth to happen. Yahweh, I cannot say intervene, but that would be the word. Yahweh intervenes in every true birth in all the existence of this world, because all his creation. If his power is used, sex is the most concentrated power of him. That is why, for all humanity, is one of the most problematic things, sex. There's a lot of power of creation. There are lots of it. So then, and in creation, Yahweh is, of course, and Yahweh says so, I cause the birth to happen. He says so. It's clear. When babies are aborted or miscarried, apparently he didn't want them to be born. What do you want me to tell you? That's the way it is. It's more than clear. That's the way it is. It says, I make it be born, be brought forth. If Yahweh wants a baby to be born, he cannot be aborted or miscarried. Do you understand? Maybe you don't understand it. If you don't understand it, why didn't you get miscarried? Because Yahweh wanted you to be born. There's no turn of the page. And why the one that got miscarried, because Yahweh didn't want them to be born. Period. It's over. Shall I bring to the birth and not cause to bring forth? Yahweh says, look, what I say up until now, it's no good at all. I have the religion that it was better to lose it than to find it, but it serves me to dominate the world and to be the most, to have my plans to be executed. Now, the Christian religion is an absolute falsehood. They took the virtue away from me as Elohim, but maybe he placed the ideas in them. It says, no, nothing satisfies me. All his sacrifice, it's abomination to me. If it is the sacrifice of being birth, again, if it's a sacrifice that you use long for the women to wear long skirts, don't eat this, don't use that. Everything is nauseous to me. It's all everything that they do in related to me. It's I want to puke. So then he says, I have nothing else, but that's the way I asked. But that is what the text says. I have thought that I will make a nation be born for me. And how do I make it be born? It says, am I not the one that makes the birth to happen? Shall I not make it be born? Do you think it's strange that people are born in one day? It says, I'm the one that begets. I bring to the birth and not cause to bring forth. I that cause this, I that beget. This whole creation, Yahweh is in charge of this creation, is the creator. This is I that caused to be begotten. Shall I stop the birth, the true birth? If you don't understand it, the true birth or the true birth, will I stop it? Saith your Elohim, saith Yahweh. It says it to Israel. Look, it could be another nation because you already evidently have been born, right? It could be another nation. Another nation, I'll make it be born that satisfies me. You, tell the truth, is not what I want. So then if I beget, who will stop me? If I am the one that gives birth, I'm not going to make something be born for me. Okay, rejoice with Jerusalem. Who's Jerusalem? That one over there? It's still that Jerusalem, Bethuwlah. It's still the eternal truth completely. That's the way I tell you to whoever wants to understand it. That Jerusalem, they can directly say LVE. Rejoice with LVE. And rejoice with her, all who beloved her. That is why this greeting that Leslie placed that it's all great. Leslie said, with you until the end of the world, and I love your love story. I love your love story. And what does Yahweh say? But of course, it is hidden. Because you read this and you're a Christian, it says, you're thinking of that Jerusalem, that dog shit Jerusalem over there. And they said, no, not that Jerusalem, that spiritual Jerusalem that are we, the Jerusalems, even less. Absolutely not. Shall a nation be born in one day? Christianity has been born long ago, not Christian, not the Muslims, not Judaism, not your sect. What had to be born was precisely before 2019, precisely in that precise moment, and not anywhere. He makes it be born on a special date, in the same day that he was born, when he was born in the Yom Kippur and the feasts of autumn. So then I have to look for when he makes it be born. When was he born? The autumn feasts. He was born when he came here. So then when he will be born what he wants, he's not going to choose whatever date in your birthday. He's not going to choose just at random. He's going to choose once again an appropriate date. What is the appropriate date? The feasts of autumn. And what is done after being born? A purification. The purification of the woman. So then in Yom Kippur, he was born in Yom Kippur a day prior, a day of trumpets, the same thing. In Yom Kippur is what the purification of the body of the woman enters. But of course, before the pains of travail come, so that no one could fulfill this prophecy except for the ones to understand it, except for those who lived it, except for those who say, wow, it's talking about this special group. But of course, not just are we free from all the stupid shit that came, we're laughing our asses off without ever washing our hands because of that, not because of hygiene, but because of that, because of the whole alcohol and all the rest. Don't misunderstand me, not being afraid of anything, never immunizing ourselves with anything, getting immunization for anything, nor taking care of anything, drinking mate, sharing mate with everybody, and the real wine, drinking a good cup of actual wine in Pesach with everyone. We've never had fear of anything, getting close to those that were coughing, getting close to those that were sick. We were never afraid of anything. Why? Because Yahweh and his people, and he purified his woman. How many people can say that? This comes afterwards. All the channels come afterwards. We lived this before. Do you understand what I'm saying? Before we lived it. This is marvelous because many channels came out and movements came afterwards saying this is bad, this has this, and this is that. That's fine, that's fine. But who fulfills the prophecy? It had to be before. Before. Precisely on a date. It's marvelous. I'm not tired of saying it because I rejoice saying it because it had to be before. And it was before. When the pains of travail came, the woman was purified and she was laughing her asses off.
He had a nation, LVE.
Exactly, and the understanding of the Son of Man begins, and the understanding of the Son of Man is born.
That is when we were rejoiced with satisfaction.
Absolutely. That is why I say this and I highlight it so that it enters into your mind. That many could now come saying, going against this product or that. The point is that we've said this precisely on the date that we had to say it, precisely before the pain, on the date of purification. It's wow, this is marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. So then it says, rejoice with Jerusalem. I directly can read this, rejoice with the eternal truth. And rejoice with her, with the eternal truth. All who love her, all who love the eternal truth. Rejoice with her. Rejoice for joy with the eternal truth. All ye that mourn for her. I mean, don't mourn for her. She's not dead, nor will she ever die. It's a form of saying because it's concealed and no one is in mourning. So then that part about mourning, we could see it in a different version because maybe it could be a better. We could find a better translation. Let's go to number 10. Let's go to number 10. To 66:10. I'll read it. Oh, okay. And whichever you can read better. For example, in the Latin American Bible, it says, rejoice with Jerusalem, with the eternal truth. Rejoice with LVE. And congratulate each other, all who love her. Congratulate each other and feel now very happy with LVE. All for her were in mourning. Maybe they were mourning looking for her. Maybe they were mourning thinking that in 2011 she was dead practically. Maybe that's why. Let's go to another version. I'll read it to you and let's see what it says in the New Living Translation. New Living Translation, number 10. They mourn for her. They lament themselves for her. It doesn't make sense. This one's good. In Spanish DH, it says, rejoice with LVE. Be glad with LVE. All you who love LVE, and join her joy. All who have cried for LVE. So then, okay, that one passes. It's very good. It's very good. We have passed through some letdowns, and we say, nothing will ever happen in this fucking life then. But then, all who cry for LVE actually rejoice. And they also say, no, you don't understand anything. You cried for us. You should rejoice for LVE. That is, it can also be applied that way. Oh, who said, no, I don't understand that. That's false. No, rejoice and understand it. Rejoice with LVE. Okay. So then I'll read it again just to go to number 11. Rejoice with Jerusalem with LVE. Rejoice with LVE. All who love LVE. Rejoice with LVE, with joy. All who become sad or mourn for LVE 11. That ye may suck. Look at what it's going to happen now. What Yahweh has ready for the entire world. It says from Jerusalem, which is the people. It's the eternal truth. It's the Son of Man. That ye may suck and be satisfied with the breasts of her consolations. I like the language of Yahweh. When Yahweh wants to be explicit and sexual, he could give a fuck. It says LV has huge tits filled with milk. It's Bethuwlah. Don't start to cough now. So then Bethuwlah has tits that the entire world wants to suck on because they are filled with milk. I'm not saying it, Yahweh says so. So that you may suck, on LVE's tits, filled with milk. What is milk? It's wisdom, teaching, justice, truth. We suck from LVE. That is why for 1260 days we did so in the desert, of course. But the entire world now has to be fed, not just Bethuwlah herself, but also the entire world. And it is the mother of, it's Eve. It is the mother of all living beings. I've told you it's Eve. But Yahweh here said something so beautiful that you may suck and be satisfied. Those who suck from LV, they're not just going to suck, but they're going to be satisfied. Everybody's laughing here. The scripture says so. So that you may suck from the tits of LVE and be satisfied. You're not just going to suck, but you'll be satisfied of the breasts of her consolations. How spectacular is this? That you may suck and be satisfied from the breast of her consolations. LVE will console the world. The world, all they know now is lies. All the information they have is lies.
They have to become mamones or sucklings.
We don't use the word mamones, which means sucklings, people that suck. They all have to suck. LVE would feed them and nurse them. It's the mom. We are the mom of the world. It's Eve. We are Eve. We are the bride of Yahweh. Every one of those titles is one better than the next. One is better than the next. We're Bethuwlah. We are the son, the man-child, but obviously we're all titles. We're the bride of Yahweh. I'll read the text in different versions. That you may suck. I love it. That you may. How many hours are these? Let's see. Hold on. I want to leave you. Maybe Brian is hungry. Wow, it's 3 hours already. I should stop. You've sucked enough today. You've sucked enough for today. I'm not going to give you any more, not any more milk, because you've sucked enough already. Then we'll satisfy the entire world later. But it says, it reads as follows, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breasts, beautiful breasts of LVE, of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. It has, next Shabbat, we'll have to read this again. It's marvelous, not just that you may drink that liquid, that you may delight in the resplendor that LV will have. Look, in a different version. Just stop to think in this text during this week. Let's go to the New Living Translation. It says, drink to the entire world, abundantly drink of her glory. As a baby drinks to be satisfied of her mother. Okay, that's give or take. Let's go to the Spanish DHH. Spanish DHH says, and she, as a mother, LVE, she, as a mother, shall feed you of her consolations until ye be satisfied. Satisfied. How marvelous, how marvelous. And it's not because we'll continue to speak about this. The visualization of these words is brutal. Visualization is a mother, but not just a mother like your mother that was ugly. It's a mother, glorious one. It says so. It'll say that you'll be. LV is like a mother, not just any mother, not like our mothers, but the most glorious mother that has ever existed. That the people will be in ecstasy just by seeing her, not just look at her, but this, of course, it's all symbology. Will read from her wisdom, and she will be filled with her wisdom. She will be satisfied with her wisdom, and she'll continue to be in ecstasies. That is what the text says, that ye suck from her breast of her consolations, that ye may suck and be delighted with the resplendor of her glory. I don't want to explain. I'll explain it once again, just because maybe there's some clueless people out there. When I talk about Argentina, I'm not talking about the country. I'm not talking about the country like if we're gonna go back to raise Argentina again. No, no, no. Argentina, it's all the American continent. Let's start with that. Let's start with that. It's just that we resign ourselves to have the last part. The whole continent is Argentina. Why? Because it'll be the new nation of silver, LVE, the new nation. And for some reason or another, I mean, delete that, take that away. Yahweh wanted it this way. He wanted for the physical place that is the gate to heaven, where it's the portal. He wanted to have certain elements so that when he would make a nation be born, he would have that type of characteristics. It's clear, absolutely clear. You cannot even argue with it. So then, in the time in which Argentina, which I could care less when they were born, but just as a symbolic example, I don't care as a nation. It's a symbolic example. Like Argentina, Yahweh made them have an anthem which is the most beautiful of them all. No matter where you were born, I was checking all the anthems of all the countries. There are some prettier than others. Some that really, I'm still thinking, what the fuck they tried to say. But the prettiest of them all is that of Argentina. You cannot even argue if you learn to be neutral and you learn the truth, you will come out from an ideology, a political ideology, and also from the country where you were born. You will say, yeah, the truth, the anthem that I said, what the fuck is it saying? The Argentinian anthem is the most beautiful song, but it's not because an Argentinian created it, but it's because I understand that it's all a part of the prophecy that Yahweh has been drawing for us. He was drawing for us because he's an artist. It's marvelous. It's a reality that goes beyond, and that's why Messi's name is Messi, because nobody could even think about it. That's why Messi was never a champion with Argentina, because he could never be a champion until the very last moment, in the very last part, when even nobody expected it, when he makes Argentina champion with Messi. Why? Because Yahweh is representing something, the Messiah, the Argentinian Messiah, and the now Argentina that represents LVE will be champion against France, which represents the dragon and all the contrary, Babylon. Those things are not by chance. Yahweh paints them because he's an artist. He's an artist. And only those who have to see it will see it. In the very final, I don't want to go into that. Messi is the Messiah, and he's got, and they put a judge robe, a black one, of black instead of white, and that's how a whole. I've explained this already. I've explained it already, but it's not that I am being a nationalist. My only nationalism is the eternal truth. Bethuwlah, it's you. You're my nation.
Messi couldn't do it alone. He had an entire team helping him.
In a team. But of course, you are my nation. I want you to understand this. We compose a nation. We are a part of something new, not of something old that has already been established. Something new, something new. And we have to feel that pride, national pride of the eternal truth. That is why I am so proud to wear an LVE ring, even more than the name Yahweh, which I have here. Even more, the eternal truth. Within, it'll say Yahweh Ekhad, Yahweh is one. With that, everything that LVE is summed up. There's no better phrase, Yahweh Ekhad, and the eternal truth. So then, our pride, I want to delete all types of patriotic pride of your country, absolutely. When I talk about Argentina, I talk about LVE. It is our Argentina. Why Argentina? Because it's silver. Absolutely, it is silver. The word silver. And we had to be refined as silver, like our hentum, silver. And Yahweh inspired this part of the anthem that I read to you, but I want to read this part that it goes with this precious story. And be just and think in all your national anthem. No one has this marvelous one except for the Argentine one. The gates to heaven. Hear, O mortals, the sacred cry, liberty, liberty, liberty. It is marvelous. absolutely marvelous. I, as the eternal truth, say, and I told you, hear, O mortals, the sacred cry of liberty. And what did we give you liberty from? From Babylon, from Pharmakeia, from your parents, of the NASA, from science. Liberty, liberty, and it's a cry that's sacred. Every word is an inspiration of God. It is a sacred cry. Hear, O mortals. And we're no longer mortals. We are non-mortals. Because we have a power to resurrect ourselves. Not just that, but because we have life in ourselves. Because our Father that has life in himself gave us this new nation of having life in ourselves. Now the rest, hear, O mortals, the sacred cry, divine cry, liberty, liberty, liberty. Hear the noise of broken chains, of where we were freed from. The chains of pharmakeia, chains of science, chains of your mother, of your father, of the education, of religion, of the churches, of the beliefs. Hear the noise of broken chains that had us subjugated. See enthroned the noble equality. Who? See enthroned, not see the throne, but see, just in case if you're not paying attention, it is an old Spanish. See on the throne. Look upon the throne. Look upon the throne. Look who's sitting on the throne. It's no longer Yahweh. It's no longer Yahweh. It is not the Pope. It is not the fucking rabbis. I was going to say something else. And it's not the fucking bankers or anyone. Look at who is sitting on the throne. See enthroned. Look who's sitting on the throne. You know who sits on there? The Son of Man. Bethuwlah, which became the man-child, which ascended and sat on the throne. See enthroned the noble equality. Why equality? Because we don't, and that man-child does not come to do injustice upon the earth. He comes to make equality for everyone. Wants everyone to be saved. Wants everyone to learn justice. Noble equality. It's as if to say supreme justice. The bride of Yahweh is enthroned to his dignified throne open. A new and glorious nation ascends. Oh, well, all that comes in the letter. But who's he talking about? He's talking about Isaiah 66. Unto the face of the earth is a new and glorious nation rises, not just anyone, a new and never existed and glorious, like never before, nation, crowned with laurels. And they have a crown because they're kings, and they have achieved a triumph. And a lion at her feet. We are lions also, but it represents in this case the lion, the beast, the Babylonian beast. That lion is at our feet. When this was written by the Argentinians, Luis Planes, what's his name? Who wrote it? Planes, right? Well, I forgot. Vicente Lopez y Planes. That beast, that lion, was the Spanish lion, but of course, it was Spain. But we now are understanding this as a different inspiration. It has another meaning. This cannot talk about Spain, cannot talk about that nation that has never been glorious. In fact, it's a disaster, a misery.
Talks about the beast that has conquered.
Exactly, that is a prophecy. It's the beast of Babylon that the Bible talks about. The beast, there's no other beast, the beast. That had conquered us, had us imprisoned, had us shut in. That's why it says liberty in the rest. And at her feet lying a lion. Babylon. From one pole until the other resounds. Of the famous resounding bugle. It's the same as if to say what the Bible says from one end of the earth to the other. From one nation to the other, from one end of the earth to the other. It resounds. What resounds? Of the fame, the resounding bugle. And from America, the taut name repeats, mortals, hear. Already unto her most dignified throne they have opened the united provinces of the South, and the free of the world respond. The great Argentinian nation we salute. In prophecy, the great Argentum, silver nation, the mother of all human beings, LVE. The great nation that was born in one day, that is what they will say. Be eternals, the laurels, that we knew how to win. It would seem to be written for us. Be eternals, the laurels, that we knew how to win, because they're not going to give us those laurels. First of all, it's a fight against ourselves until we learn how to dominate this body, how to solve our conflicts, and not just that, but the laurels that we shall win will be when the lion will be at our feet. Be eternal, and be forever, and the lion at our feet. Be eternal, the laurels, that we knew how to win. Only those that know, that are a part of that victory, that we knew how to win. Where were we? Let us live crowned with glory. I love that. That stresses that Argentinians are also proud, of course, if they let us know since we're little. We've been crowned with glory. I don't know about you. I don't know where the fuck you were born, but an Argentinian that sings the anthem says, crowned with glory, let us live. When does an Argentinian lives crowned with glory? The whole time. It says, why are they so proud? Because they programmed us since we were little, crowned with glory, let us live. Does your anthem say that? Because this is inspiration, it's for us. Aside from what I just told you, that it has an effect on the mind. Crowned with glory, let us live. It's a command. Let us live with crowns with glory. We do whatever we want, and if Argentinian comes, oh, this guy, he thinks he's all that. If he doesn't know, he makes it up. He doesn't know something, he makes it up. And if he doesn't win, he ties it. But he'll always be the best in anything. It's true. Because why? Because we live crowned with glory. That is what it is to live crowned. And if you live crowned, you're king. Crowned with glory, let us live.
And everything that we do is great.
We feel satisfied. Exactly.
It is to be satisfied with every work you do.
Exactly. And if we don't live crowned with glory, we swear to die gloriously. That's the way it is. That's why in Argentina, we defend our team to death. We defend us to the death. Nothing is halfway with Argentinians. It's either like this or like that. And if not, let us kill ourselves until we convince you. But that's the way it is. Or else we'll talk you to death, or else until convince you that you're wrong. When
we were in the quarterfinal or the final, and it was raining all over the place, and they were saying that God was crying, actually.
When it rains, God is crying. When there's lightning, we go out because God is taking pictures of us. God is taking pictures of us Argentinians. See, the thing is that crowned with glory we live. Yes, and we want to see how the city looks without us, we go up to the mountain to see how it looks without us. Let us live crowned with glory, or swear to die gloriously. Well, taking all the jokes that I said, let's go to the inspiration of this. The Eternal Truth will sing this truly. Not this. This is an inspiration to make our own later, but it's like a prophecy. We're also not going to be singing or yelling what Isaiah 66 says. That's what I'm trying to say. This is a prophecy. It cannot be that the Argentinian anthem is the best of the whole world. It cannot be that it dictates liberty, not just to Argentina, but everyone, the whole world. It's something marvelous. Now, looking at it seriously, how, with an inspiration for that group, that country that was born in Monday, it says as follows: this people, this great people of LVE, the new people, salute. Be eternal, the laurels, you, the children of Elohim, that we knew how to win, the judges. Let us live crowned with glory. We, judges, crowned with glory, we live. or swear to die gloriously. That or swear to die gloriously means never, never to come down from glory. We live with glory or we die with glory, but we don't live, we don't die in fear, nor escaping, but with glory. Since we live with glory, the day we live, we also go with glory. A glorious escape. That's the way, that is what we have to understand. Do you understand that, right? Well, that is the eternal truth. It cannot be that this anthem be inspired that way. Hear, O mortals, the sacred cry, liberty, liberty, liberty. Hear the noise of broken chains. See enthroned the noble ELVE, and is raised from the face of the earth a new and glorious nation in one day, crowned with laurels because they are kings, and a lion at her feet, the beast. From one end, from one pole to the other, resounds the fame of the sonorous bugler, the trumpet, the bugler, and of America the name showing, because the eternal truth was taught in America, not in Europe, not in Asia, in America, the glorious land. And from America the name showing, they repeat, mortals, here. Their most worthy throne have they placed. The United Provinces of the South, and the free of the world. The free are those that will be left. That third, because the other 2/3 will leave. That third are the free. The others are tied to Babylon. One's work for Babylon, and the others are slaves of Babylon. But there's 1/3 that are free. And the free people of the world, that third, reply, we salute the great people, LVE, that freed us, that broke our chains, and that dominated and killed the beast. The great people, LVE, we salute. Be eternals the laurels that we knew how to win. Crowned with glory we live, because we are the kings of the world, and there's no more to say. We die with glory. Crowned with glory we live, for we are the sons of Elohim, for we are the promised Messiah. We are the second version or coming of the Messiah. And number 12 says, but I'm not going to explain it anymore because I've talked to you already 3 hours. You've already been satisfied. 3 hours and 15. Okay, no, I'm going to stop already. You're sucking way too much. Until next week. It reads as follows. Number 12 of Isaiah 66. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will extend upon her, upon whom? LVE, LVE, Zion. Behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, abundance of people, pacifying people, and the glory of the Gentiles. What? The glory of the nations. How many? All the glory of the nations. Like a flowing stream unto LVE. The glory of the nations like a flowing stream. You haven't understood, you have yet to see what LVE will be. You think if you have $200 to buy a ring, for example, it says, the glory of the nations like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. A better version of this one so you understand it. They're gonna suck from her. I'll read this one in the Spanish DHH 2002. It says, for I the Lord say, Yahweh, I say, I will make for peace to come upon her. Upon whom? Upon LVE. As a river, and the wealth of the nations as a torrent, that an overflowing torrent. Unto whom? Unto that nation, that new nation. Not the riches or a tithe of somebody. It said, well, I don't have to get the tithe or not, but I'll cooperate. No, not that. It says the richness of the nations shall come unto her as an overflowing stream, and she will nurse them at her breast, that third that is left. Hear, O mortals, the sacred cry. Hear, you free people of the world. She will nurse you. LVE will nurse you, and carried in her arms and held on her lap. How magnificent, absolutely magnificent. It's so marvelous, this prophecy is, that we did have to make many subjects on it, but I'll stop there because actually we have a feast, and I've read enough to think I've given you a lot of food today. The main thing, aside from all this understanding, is that we do not fear anything because we have life in ourselves. For what reason? Because our Father, because our husband gave it to us. He has life in himself. You cannot argue that, but he's also given the Son, which are we, life in ourselves, because we are the ones that will go upon the throne. They're going to tell us the free of the world, the great people, LVE, salute. Without any further ado, let us wrap up with a word of prayer. Beloved Yahweh, we are waiting for you, and we are waiting for all these prophecies, this last prophecy that you gave Isaiah, to be fulfilled. It's already in fulfillment as we speak, but we already want it to get to its end. We give you thanks. Thanks for everything that you have taught us. We know that all the richness of the nation as an overflowing torrent you'll bring to your children. But what we desire is justice. It is the justice that this earth implored, and the only one that can give it is this group. It is this new nation that you made it be born in one sole day, the nation of the eternal truth. In your precious name, we are waiting for you. Alleluia. Semper Fi to every one of you. Long live the sons of Elohim, the Argentum bride. May the Lord bless you and keep you. We are now going to celebrate Brian's birthday, to eat an exquisite lasagna that Leslie made in a spectacular manner. And I'll tell you how it was later. If the Lord allows it, we shall meet again next Shabbat. Remember everything that I've taught today. Look it over many times, because your mind has to enter that we have life. If that does not enter, then fear enters. Fear has to go out, and life has to enter. You have life in yourself, because our Father gave it to us. You are God within yourself, and you are God outside of you, because our Father created us in His image and likeness. So then, practice that. Look at that. Chew it over, repeat it, and also comment on this video, because it is a part of your learning curve and your form of memorizing it. Commenting on it, not just live, this part, but also commenting later when the video is published, because you don't see it on the live chat later, but you can comment it later. Without any further ado, hallelujah to every one of you, the bride queen. Long live Mama Shiach. Long live. Hallelujah.